And a big hello, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Six Pack. It's been a couple of weeks, but the good news is I'm still alive. I'm still here. So, welcome, everyone. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, do all that wonderful kind of stuff. Now, I've got Vagrant Sam and Jen from Jen's Little Corner here, so I'm just going to bring them in. How are we, guys and girls?
Good. How are you going?
Yeah,
Sorry,
good.
not guys and girls, but how are we, guy and girl? It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Well, it'll be guys and girls later once Notcher and Mary join us. So.
Well,
we've already said it to them when they're not here. So
yeah, so I'm just jumping the gun. That's the problem.
Yeah, you're jumping the gun.
Yeah,
just like they do in America.
Well, that's it. That's it. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'm running a completely new setup here, so I'm just trying to get everything all looking good and wonderful and fantastic. So hi everyone in the chat. So I can see a lot of the usual suspects are there. So
your wife's there. She's always there. What's with that?
I know. Well, she can't help it.
The audience.
Hi, Hissy.
Well, she's working at the moment, so
she
can't help herself. She has to listen to my voice. So that poor deluded woman.
Oh, she must have really enjoyed it when you were sick.
I got excited for a second. I thought for a second we actually had an apologist in the chat already, but no, it's just someone poking fun at apologists. So hi, Autobot. Hi to Orla. Digital Demonic Davros, good to see you. Critical Cripple Dave, good to see you. Mama Atheist Amanda, I am so sorry I didn't tag you. I haven't. There's no excuse. No excuse. I won't try and make one. And a big hello to Atheist Ant, who I actually met on Twitter yesterday. So good to see you here. So anyway, how are we all? What's going on?
Oh, not a lot. I've been super lazy, and I finished a game, which kept me busy.
Was it the Christian one? Was it?
No. I see that would have been content for my channel and would have been technically being productive. This was a Japanese idol role-playing game on the Switch, where I did manage to save the world. So spoiler alert: the good guys win. Tokyo Mirage.
So Japanese idol, as in singing.
Yeah, so it's a role-playing game where you start the game and you end up in a talent agency, but you actually also have to defeat mirages that are stealing people's performer, which is their creativity. And it turns out that's threatening the entire world. So, you get to do that and discover your talent as singers, models, or actors as you go through the game.
Please tell me there's giant robots in there.
No giant robots. There are special robots. There are special attacks that are based on the singles that the idols do release, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so that was a week of my life. And then last week was binge watching BoJack Horseman's finale, which I really want to make a video about. So hopefully that gets me busy this weekend, since it looks like a rainy day weekend.
If you're going to do that, why don't you have a talk to Wondering and see if he's interested in the show too, and do it as one of his.
What I might do is do a live afterwards, but I kind of want to try a video essay on like depression and death and dealing with it without religion. Just because that show itself is really good at discussing those topics. I don't know if you guys have seen any BoJack Horseman at all.
No, I've seen the manga or the comics though.
Of BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
is this a joke and I don't know where you're leading?
No,
it's a Netflix original series, BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
and there's a manga.
It's either a manga or a comic. Yeah,
that would be news to me.
Okay, well there you go. See,
are you going to argue about this instead of politics?
I'm not going to argue because I don't know. I've never heard that there's a BoJack Horseman written thing. So
don't quote me. I'm pretty sure I saw it in a comic shop. I might have seen it on a because I get the alerts for what's coming in the next few months for comics. I may have actually seen it on one of those that I was reading through.
I would assume then it's an adaptation of the show as opposed to the other way around. So I was confusing it.
Oh, it's Devil Nacho.
Oh, it's Evil Nacho.
Nacho.
Evil
but yes,
Nacho,
unfortunately,
my audio sucks at the moment.
Why does your audio suck?
I don't know. driving me up a wall.
Well, I just want to say I'm really happy you're here, Nacho, because I went on to a stream during the week, and it was when I'd sort of lost my voice, so I was a bit deep and everything, and people actually thought that I was you.
That's kind of scary.
Well, we've been seeing the same place at the same time, so I mean, I'm not that good looking, so it's definitely not me.
And you don't carry
nobody
sight.
really knows what I look like. Well, I mean, maybe Mero, but otherwise nobody knows.
I fucking hope Mero knows what you look like, or do you wear a paper bag over your fucking head or something?
Just like
I
have to.
He makes Mero close her eyes.
You have to wear a paper bag over your head, do you?
It's something, it helps. Trust me, she'll be in later, I'm sure. I'm sure she'll be in later and she'll completely agree.
Yeah, in chat she said she'll be here in a tick.
Yep. Oh, and she said...
Oh, no, she said you look awesome, so...
She's full of shit.
So, Jen, what's going on with you? What's happening in you and your little corner?
Me and my little corner. Aside from being sick, most of the time that you've been sick, not much at the moment because I just hadn't felt up to doing anything. But I've got a couple things I'm going to be.
Cooties.
No, we didn't. I actually caught this from my mum, and she didn't end up anywhere near as sick as I did. Yeah, I know that sounded entirely wrong given the context of what you said, Nacho, but it's not what I meant.
Oh no,
we're a close family, but not that close.
See, for me, it was just after I prayed in tongues with Mero that I got sick. So maybe God was watching. Yeah, maybe that was a thing.
It must be. Yeah. I mean, I haven't felt right for months.
He couldn't even give you coronavirus, so that's an incompetent God.
Well, when I went to the doctor and I'm sort of coughing and all that kind of stuff, and he's funny, my doctor. He likes to sit there and talk. He's a hardcore Christian, and he knows I'm an atheist, and he loves to try and convert me every time. But this was the quickest trip I've ever had to his office, and he sort of looked at me and he said, "Have you been to China lately?" I said, "No." He said, "Do you know anyone who's been to China lately?" I went, "No." He went, "Okay, try this." I was like, "Okay." But there was no, trying to convert me back to Christianity this time. It was great.
And he's probably decided it's not worth it. He's probably watched some of your videos.
No, I haven't talked myself to that point with him, but he did ask me if I'd read. He said, "Have you heard of Lee Strobel?" I've gone, "Yes, I've heard of Lee Strobel." And we went down the usual. I said, "Yes, I've read it. I've also read The Case Against, The Case For, and we can talk about it." And then he went on it and he started giving me all these other books to read. And I'm just like, okay, well, I'll give you a couple of books to read too. So I wrote down a few for him. He didn't look interested in the ones I suggested. But
the Bible's not good enough. It's probably not true.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of that, tonight we are going to be covering some of the greatest hits, some of the classics that we always hear from a Christian apologetics. And there was one in particular today, and we're going to wait for Mero because I think
but
Mero
we've had a day of that today, haven't we?
We have.
As far as tweeters go, I mean, Mero had him. We had the stupid Christian apologetic anti-abortion mob in the other thread.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we had Ray Comfort being an absolute doucheburger again.
Well, I've actually had someone who's been playing apologetics with me on a comment I made on one of Ray Comfort's dopey things he said. And it's just like, this stuff's coming through, and I'm just like, man, you're bringing out all the classics. Like, you don't realize just the material you're giving me for tonight. But now we'll definitely, as soon as Mero gets here, we have to talk about Saint Ron.
We had the one last week, was it? That went through almost every single apologetic trope in the entire thread, didn't they? I
may have missed that one. It might
have been whilst you were sick. Sam was definitely in it. Because we were saying this is just weird seeing apologetic stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like he just went A, B, C, D.
Yeah, he basically went down this list of going through apologetics very badly. He didn't know what he was actually saying. He never really listened to what any of the other apologists had said. And he was doing them worse than any of them did. It was just stupid.
I got to be honest, I've had that many fights or arguments on Twitter in the last week. They all started to roll into one. I even had a little brain explosion yesterday and had my little online, I'm going to write a big, long tweet hissy fit, which was that was good fun. So, I had my cranky pants on yesterday. I can cop it. I had my
watching most of us lately, we just... What is it? Are they just crawling out of the woodwork at the moment? Because every time you turn around, there's either somebody coming at you with some form of apologetics, or there's somebody saying to you, "Can you come and give me a hand with this dumb nut?" Because my brain's already half dead from talking to them.
And the thing is, they keep bringing out the same lines and the same stuff that's been disproven over and over again. Actually, I had a really good one yesterday that I'll find, and they were doing the it was just the usual along the lines of, you can't see the wind and you can't see love, but you know they exist. And then they went really quiet after. Well, actually, we can see wind, and we can actually see the chemical reaction in the brain that occurs when love happens. So yeah, we can, but neither of those matter anyway, because I'm asking you to prove you're God, which they can never do. All they do is they just throw out the same old Ray Comfort Ken Ham lines, just without the wacky accent half the time. But anyway,
yes.
Nacho,
what about the lovely Ray today? Why don't we start with him before Mara comes in after Nacho said his bit?
We will, but I want to know what Nacho's been up to.
Lately, well, today I've just been doing a couple gaming videos because I got frustrated over the last week or so trying to fix my audio because it's still not fixed, and it's really annoying me. But so I gave up on that, and I was like, fuck it, I just can do some fucking gaming videos anyway. But that's pretty much all I've been doing.
What'd you play? I missed those videos.
What's the game?
I've only uploaded one so far. I just did it earlier, and it was which one did I upload? Far Cry 5.
You had a guest for that, didn't you?
Bunch of
Hello?
No, I do say featuring somebody, but I don't actually have a guest. Hey, no.
And we got.
When are we starting at Minecraft server?
How are you, Mero? No, Mero can't hear us. She's got this. She looks so.
Maybe she's got a messed up voice meter like I had before.
Hey, hello. Sorry.
Hey,
hello.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anybody.
No, we noticed.
We noticed. We were making fun of you, so that's okay.
So we may as well start with Mero's little day today.
How's Christianity treating you, Mero?
Oh, Christianity can go fuck itself.
You've had one of those days, Mero.
You had fun with good old Saint Ron today, didn't you?
Oh, he was beautiful. Oh my god, that was brilliant. Did you get screen grabs of it?
Oh, I've got it all up here. So yes, we'll be running through it. Don't you worry.
Like I said, it was an amazing day for it between you and Ron and the Christian right to lifers and everything. It was a brilliant day for us.
I even got a bit of a troll on my channel as well. Hang on, let's see. I'll just
from Ron.
I don't know. It could be.
Well, Ron does what?
Could be Ron.
I hope Ron knows that every time he watches a video, it helps to monetize you.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful. Hang on, it's just loading.
But Ron was definitely bringing out the greatest hits of Christianity today. He had them all.
You're a loser. You're a hypocrite. You're an arsehole.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't answer fools. The Bible says not to answer fools.
Did he say that? I missed that one.
Yeah, there was the whole Proverbs 26.
He was actually worse than the guy we had the other day who was at least actually trying to do apologetics. I don't think Ron actually tried a single bit of apologetics.
Ron didn't answer a single question.
No, he didn't. He was just insulting people.
He kept saying,
I don't like you. Okay, why? Because I don't like you.
Show us what?
I'm just like, What? He's saying he's proven me wrong. I'm going, dude, you haven't proven a thing.
He hasn't even stated a case, let alone proven it.
All he did was say that I'm a fool because the Bible says if I don't believe I'm a fool, so he doesn't have to talk to me.
Yeah, so his sum total of evidence is one verse in the Bible.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got Maddie FR who said, this is on my first my recorded talking in tongues video that I did 2 weeks ago. And then like,
the one that God punished me and made me sick for doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
That's the first one, wasn't it? Was that the fake more talking in tongues or the
this is the fake talking in the tongues one. So this is
so the one
not the real one.
Christians really do it.
Yeah,
Am I good to share your screen?
Pardon?
I'm good to share your screen?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
I almost doxed Jay once when he did it, so
Yeah, so I had this person going, honestly, you shouldn't make fun of talking in tongues. So I was like, I'm genuinely curious. May I ask why? And they said, never make fun of God's works. My grandma laid hands on me to receive the gift, and let me tell you, when you receive, it's the best feeling in the world. Peace came over me, and it was like something was bubbling up in me. Tongues are real. Read Acts in the Bible. If you were to actually receive, you would see what I mean. It isn't just random words. And when I was reading that, the first thing I was thinking was like, you do realize, like, later that day, I did a stream with Chris who made me talk in tongues.
Even better is the fact that they're going on about wanting the best thing in life is to be received. Receive
that tongue.
You receive that tongue. Yeah, that's why I was laughing. It's like, oh my god, could there be any more innuendo in that?
No, I don't know. Anyway, so it's like I experienced that myself. I realized that it is random words. If talking in tongues is genuinely straight from God's, why can atheists who used to talk in tongues still be able to do so? Which I thought was a good point, and they haven't responded. So I even got trolled on my fucking channel.
I don't know if I'd call that a troll. That sounds 100% genuine, legitimate.
It could be
feedback.
True.
That's exactly what I would have said when I was in Pentecostal Christianity. Like that, I'm not saying that they're not trying to get a reaction out of you, but their point is consistent with what they believe, and that's not always the case with trolls. Like
that is true.
And their whole statement was reminding me of now VM names. I'm dreadful with them. Yeah, only a really well-known Australian atheist who does a lot of songs.
Tim Minchin.
Oh, Tim Minchin.
Tim Minchin's Thank You God for Healing the Cataracts.
Oh yeah, that's a great song.
That is a good one. The funny thing is, I noticed that in her comment about she's talking about tongues in Acts, that's actually not the tongues that we did. There's two different types of tongues. So there's earthly tongues and heavenly tongues. So the tongues in Acts are just people talking in other languages. So once again, Christian doesn't know their Bible.
Yeah. Puedo hablar
the tongue. So
puedo hablar en lenguas. En otra lengua.
Macaremacen.
¿Puedes hablar otro idioma?
I see everyone's talking tongues now. Look out.
I can speak Spanish, so that means that I literally do speak in tongues.
Sure.
There we go.
And you do feel, pardon?
Yeah, there you go. Well, it does actually activate a part of your brain when you speak in another language.
Yeah, and you do actually feel pretty good.
Part of your brain.
That's true, but you do feel really good when you're speaking in another language, but you're so comfortable with it, you're not realizing you're speaking in another language, and it's just the best feeling ever.
That happens rarely, Amanda. Fucking Christians happens rarely.
So you know what? Pretty much anything Amanda puts in the chat, I'm probably going to put up because I feel guilty.
Amanda, this is your opportunity to troll.
you can troll the shit out of me. It won't be the worst trolling I've received today. Don't worry.
He'd also happily have you in here talking and taking over the channel. So.
Oh yeah, I will give you the channel at the moment because I feel so bad. So you can even send us your favorite apologetic. So what I want to do is before we get into the godly Saint Ron of Twitter. I guess I want to ask you guys, what are your favorite Christian apologetics that you kind of roll your eyes but hear all the time? So I guess, Sam, you probably used a few. So what was your classic go-to that you kind of get sick when you hear now?
God's law is written on your heart, so you really believe, you just deny.
Oh, yes.
That's the most frustrating one, because as soon as that comes out, you can't even have a discussion. At least with the world is 6,000 years old, and here's why I believe that. You can have a discussion. But as soon as it is just, I reject your reported experience and your reported beliefs, you can't even talk. Game's over. So that frustrates me the most.
What about you, Jen? What's your favorite go-to?
Well, mine sort of follows on from Sam's. It's the one that you only want to be an atheist because you love your sin.
Oh,
which is basically just the follow-on from what Sam said.
I was just we're on YouTube.
In all fairness, sin is pretty good. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to sin?
Yeah, but that's only because the rules in the Bible are fucking ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're.
I'm not talking about the Ten Commandments here. I'm talking about all of the rules. I can agree that treating your neighbors with all good kindness that you would expect to be delivered unto yourself is a fucking good idea.
No, but that's not. No, it's don't covet what your neighbor has. It's don't. It's not be nice. It's like
but I mean, what they call the
treat
golden
others
rule
as you treat.
But the golden rule is in so many religions. It was just lifted by Christianity to say, "Hey, we can make ourselves look better by shoving this in here." And whilst we're there, we'll make sure you have to love God as well.
Well, Godless
Gay
Unicorn.
Everyone.
Godless Unicorn. Have you seen her around on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of her videos that was shared by Bills last night, and she said, if anything, Christians are the ones that are more likely to sin because they can go to God and their sins will be forgiven, but I can't go to God to get my sins automatically forgiven. If I wrong someone, I have to go to them. And I was like, that is such a good point, because I have met so many really fucking awful Christians who are always going, I'm so wonderful because I believe in God and I'm a Christian, you can trust me. Meanwhile, they're stealing thousands of dollars off you. So,
and Christianity gives you no incentive not to sin, because you can just ask for forgiveness.
From God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the irony, though, is that to be able to achieve that, you need to be weighed down with a shit ton of guilt as well. Because you feel guilty for it constantly. But
on the church you're part of.
It does. But it's not uncommon that part of that deal of being able to sin and find forgiveness is that you're then saddled with guilt at the idea that you are a sinner.
A lot of people do feel guilty after they do something. They thoroughly enjoyed it at the time, but they feel guilty about it afterwards.
Mm.
So you can honestly go through that. And I mean, then this follows on to the same thing like Ray Comfort said, if I wasn't a Christian, I would be raping and murdering all the time. And I'm like, you're morally bankrupt. The only reason you don't do these fucking things is because you're afraid that your God's going to shove you in a fiery pit. There's something drastically wrong with you.
That is true, but I do think
he said that in an interview with Thunderfoot.
I do think, though, that's just them trying to make a point. I don't actually think the majority of them would go murdering and raping anyway.
Oh, I agree, but it's the fact that they would actually think that that's an argument.
Yeah. Danger Hissy
against Christianity.
Danger Hissy says the golden rule is just a basic common sense now not to start a tribal civil war 101.
101. Exactly.
That's true.
You can think your way to that. You don't need a inspirational God to tell you.
No.
Hey Hissy, why don't you hop in here with us, and that will annoy Wondering because he's not here.
We've
had Wondering heaps of times. His missus should be on here.
This is Mrs. Wondering.
This is.
Okay. There we go. I recognise from a few streams, but okay. I'm putting it all together. See, I've been out of action for a week and I've just completely missed everything. So there we go. So Nacho, what's your favourite go-to? I guess you might have a few different ones from the J Dubs.
Yeah, you'd think, right? I've been sitting here trying to work that out, and I'm I'll be honest, my brain isn't like quite functional. It's just not coming. Like there's nothing really coming to me. There was something I thought before though was don't hate the sin, not the sinner, or something.
Yep.
That one's a bit annoying.
Well, because it is purely lip service, isn't it? It's like, oh, we hate the sin, but not the sinner. No, you hate the sinner. You're just pretending you don't hate the sinner just to make yourself feel better about yourself. You obviously
they don't understand that some
sinner.
of the things.
It's a cop-out.
They don't understand some of the things that they consider sin are actually people. They think that somehow who you are is not what you do. I don't know. I don't have a drink.
Well, I mean, it's no difference. I mean, if you go back far enough, Christianity thought that people of other races were inferior and cursed by God, so they were hated for the sin of their forefathers, which is part of how they allowed for slavery and stuff like that.
Mormonism's a classic example of that. It's because God cursed the bad Israelites and darkened their skin. I mean,
exactly.
African Americans couldn't hold, or anyone who was not basically white couldn't hold a position in the Mormon church for up until the 60s. And then they realized that, new revelation turns out that that's okay now. They're not cursed.
So your God was wrong? Oh, no. It's just changed.
God just changed his mind because everything from his space station orbiting Cobol and decided, I'm going to change my mind. And yes, that is what Mormons believe. They believe that God is
an alien.
Cobol. So,
well, I mean, at least they only accept that he's an alien.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So, Maro, what about you? What's your favorite go-to? I mean, you cop more than anyone, so.
Well, today I certainly did. Probably mine is you haven't read the Bible, or you don't understand the Bible, or if you only read the Bible, you'd understand. That sort of situation. Because that's ridiculous. to be honest with you, is because, like yourself, atheist pastor, and not Joe, we basically is everyone's okay. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Respectfully,
everyone was just kind of.
We're just in awe and listening to you.
Yeah, we're just listening to you, Mary. Take the floor. You're.
Yeah.
So
famous Australian here after Notch. Showing Notch the love.
Wait, I can't hear you. Who's talking?
just me showing Notch the love.
I heard that bit.
You just, as soon as you hear my voice, you just tune out, do you, mate?
Wait, is anyone talking? I just got silent for a second there.
Very quickly, Mara, can you answer a question for us? Because we were asking this before. Have you seen or does he make you close your eyes?
What was that?
Have you actually seen Notch's face, or does he make you close your eyes?
Or do you put a paper bag over his head?
Well, I have seen his face, and sometimes I do close my eyes, but usually I'm horizontal at the time.
Well, there we go. Love in the second dimension.
Anyway, that's sort of like this sort of that you're ignorant of the Bible, and if only you knew the Bible, you would believe. And like the idea that someone can look at the Bible and think, I'm not gonna actually want to follow that is like weird. Which is like if you read the Bible, you're like just
slavery.
If you went and studied it for 1 or 2 years at a tertiary level, I'm sure there's no way you would be anything but convinced of its contents.
Yes.
But
I'd
be willing to say that if you study it full time or whatever the same amount of time as a Bible student, you will not come to the same conclusion.
Oh, look, not everyone will come to the same conclusion, but
not everyone will come.
It is a method of coming in contact with the conflicts in it, at least. So some people will just close their eyes to those conflicts, and other people will, maybe start drinking and, getting home late and going to church to clean on Sundays with a hangover.
Yeah.
Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Watchtower Watcher, yes. Not Jar and I are an item.
What? Huh? Since
Obviously
when?
not-
You
doesn't know
you
about
haven't
this.
replaced that motherfucking cheesecake. So.
Nor will I. I will never replace it.
Incidentally,
the
we are
winning
going to have a stream where we cover the cheesecake incident at some point. And go through, investigate it in depth and really get to the bottom of it. So my favorite, I have to say, is when I say, well, prove to me there's a God, and I get well, just walk outside and look around. If you can't look at everything and tell that there's a God, well, you're just ignorant.
Yeah.
I've got
Look at the trees, man.
Yeah.
I love that one.
I had someone yesterday who said to me, I said, where's the proof of God? And they said, just walk outside, do a 360, and there it is. So I just replied, I did it, did a 360, couldn't see God, didn't see anyone in the clouds. What did I do wrong?
Well, one of my favorite responses to that one is like, so have you actually heard of the cockroach emerald wasp? What that does is it paralyzes the cockroach, but it makes it move where it wants to, and then it lays its eggs inside its body, and then the eggs hatch and eat the body from the inside out while the cockroach is still alive. Like, fairly loving God you've got there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that apologetic would have been not as popular over the last 3 months in Australia as well, especially in Sydney.
Yeah, just walk outside.
Following on to what you said, Mary, that also leads them down to, they usually get to the point of you can't understand the Bible unless you believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Well, isn't that you just need to have faith?
Yes.
Well, what about you never really a Christian?
What was that, Notcha?
I say you were never really a Christian.
Oh, that one.
You know, big poison, but no true Scotsman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there is a few other favourites I've got, but I've got to be honest. Ron threw a stack of them out today. Sorry, Saint Ron. Saint Ron. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Mara, and I'm going to let you preface this because it was in your stream. I think we all had a bit of fun with it. I've got to say it completely. I had a nothing day today apart from just sitting around watching rain, and it made my day. It was so entertaining.
It was fun. It was absolutely fun. Can you bring up the tweets? Is that possible?
Yep. Give me.
Okay. So
I'm
I
very
think
proud of my Mr. T gif in that whole exchange.
What was that? Sorry.
My Mr. T gif. I was just that was perfect because it referenced nuts just after Chris told him to grow a pair, and it was nice and subtle. But it was anyway. Sorry.
Okay. So what prefaced is I think I don't know who said this, but it was basically a Christian apologetic trying to make a thing about I still can't read that anyway. Let's see if I can find it.
I can probably increase the size. Is that better?
Yes. Okay. So basically, I think what happened was I responded going to this question about intelligent life, and I said, as a scientist, I do not think that there is any intelligent life within our sphere of being able to communicate with people, but in regards to microbes, I think they're everywhere. So I said as a scientist. So what this guy did was he clicked through to my profile. Okay, to be perfectly open, I have not yet finished my science degree, so I suppose technically speaking, I can't say that I am a scientist. But I finished this year. I've only got 3 more subjects to complete, so basically have finished my degree.
Are you a student of science?
I am a student of science.
Like at a university level?
At a university,
well, then you're a scientist. Because,
yeah.
There are so many people that are like not whatever they call themselves until they finish the degree. But when you're doing a fucking science degree, like a proper science degree, you're usually doing real science just to get the degree. So yes, you can call yourself a scientist.
Thank you.
Not like you're doing social sciences or anything, right?
No, this is like
Shut the
genuine.
fuck up! I do social sciences. Go fuck yourself.
This is so I'm majoring in
Not
chemistry.
real
and
science,
microbiology.
not true. It's not real science.
No, I know, but I mean that's what you got to do if you want to work in crime and stuff. So.
I did a humanities degree,
I've
so
actually
I
changed my
yeah.
opinion about that with social science.
When you
It's
say you want
science,
to work
it's
in
not,
crime,
cool.
Criminology, criminal justice.
How to get away with shit, how they're going to catch you,
Yeah, pretty much.
So not
Forensics,
just
all that.
studying to be a criminal.
I was just going to say, Nacho, you just want to sin, don't you?
Hey, I mean, I was born in it.
Trust me, he sins with me quite on a fairly regular basis. So
Worst thing about getting married is it's no longer a sin.
that's true.
That won't happen. It can always be a sin.
You two can practice those tongues together.
Okay, so what I did was I'm having a PayPal pool to raise a little bit of money so I can buy a new camera.
Are you getting naked in the pool?
I can get naked if you want me to, but I won't. Anyway, so
$50 for Mara to get naked. Yeah, live on stream.
Yeah.
And anyway, Mero's just suddenly been able to buy 3 cameras.
Anyway, so Saint Ron wrote, so just so we're clear, you're a really knowledgeable person when it comes to science, so much so you feel qualified to educate others on the subject, but apparently don't make enough money as a science expert to buy your own camera. Giggle. So I retweeted that.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I retweeted that. It finishes in giggle.
I wanted to rip
I
the
did
shreds
it.
for that because that is neckbeard milady stuff. It's like the asterisks where you're like, milady teleports behind you, hugs you from behind. Like that's the sort of shit I was thinking.
So I retweeted and I said, how to be an asshole on the internet. By the way, if you so wish to donate to my PayPal, the link is below. Please let this person know how much you donated due to their comment. So do you mind if I put the PayPal link into the chat? Is that okay, Chris?
I would be so deeply offended if you do, because I don't
Okay, awesome. So I will put that in the chat then.
Only put it in there if you're a
Amanda
scientist.
said you could. Hang on. Amanda, is that okay? Because Amanda's in charge of the stream tonight.
Well, it's too late. He's already done.
Did I have to put it in there? Oh.
In fact, Amanda's getting a spanner.
Oh, you haven't scanned her? How could you?
He left her naked.
French.
How dare you? You're a
spanner or
spanner.
wrench or whatever it is. I don't know.
We likes the wenches.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my response. Anyway, shall we all have our favorite giggles from what this dickhead put on? Because first of all, let's just break down that original tweet that he sent me. Shall we?
Let's do that.
Yeah. So let's just so we're clear, you're a really knowledgeable person when it comes to science. So ad homing me because, it's doubting my education. Fuck you. So much so that you feel qualified to educate others on the subject. Yes, I do feel qualified to educate people on the subject because it's my fucking degree. But apparently don't make enough money as a science expert to buy your own camera, which now is poverty shaming me. I'm not in poverty, by the way, everyone. Just letting you know I'm financially stable. I have my job and it's a good job that pays well and I have regular hours. So you don't have to worry about me needing to buy my next meal. But
I'm led to believe that you don't need to buy your next meal because you steal cheesecakes.
That's true. Yes. So
Mero cannot live on cheesecakes alone.
Yeah, I know. It's going to make me fat.
But on the love and adoration of Not Your Witness.
Yes, that's true. So my response to him was, no, it's more of an opportunity for my non-Patreon fans to give me money towards my channel. give them an opportunity to support me for a once off. I give them something to enjoy. So if they wish, they can now repay that enjoyment. And that is my solid thing. You don't have to give me money. If you wish to, please donate money to give him the finger. That would be even better. And then Ron replies, "Oh, I see. It's not that you can't make enough money with your scientific expertise to afford a new camera with a whopping price of $1,000, but you just wanted to give people the opportunity to pay for it. How very thoughtful of you, lol."
Now, I'm just going to point something out here because, I mean, he's made the whopping price of $1,000 as if it's some, measly amount of money. $1,000 is not a measly amount of money. Okay, now Ron's in the US. Now, the average wage in the US, I mean, what's the minimum wage in the US? About $10 an hour?
Something like that.
So we're talking about 2.5 weeks worth of work in the US. So Ron's obviously, I think he's just big noting himself a little bit there. But yeah, screw you, Ron.
Yeah,
I think their median's like $40,000 or something. So yeah, $1,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Amanda says, "I am a scientist, but also a single mum, and I make shit money. But it's climate science in America, so what can I expect?" And that's the thing. Scientists get paid fuck all. A scientist in Australia with a PhD is expected to earn $90,000 a year. That is less pay per year than somebody who than a primary school teacher.
Well, actually,
I've seen jobs
about that the other day, didn't we, Mero? Where we're talking about what pastors can earn, and Pentecostal pastors in particular, when they, I guess, get ordained. And when you compare what a scientist gets and a pastor, it's disgusting. A pastor in a decent sized church will be earning $100K without too many problems.
Yeah, exactly. And a scientist with a PhD, so 8 years worth of fucking study, gets 90 grand. I mean, if they do make a discovery and they can patent their discovery, then they might get more money. But
or they do the radio or television shows and stuff, they can make lots more money. But
yeah,
no longer part of their degree, really.
Well, yeah, it's an opportunity they get, but it's not a pathway that you can't plan your career around that.
Yeah,
and I don't think Australia's got a particularly robust sort of science economy for actual scientists at the moment, unfortunately.
No.
Incidentally, I really quickly want to say, obviously, St. Ron's Twitter handle is there. No one go and harass him. I'm sure that no one's going to anyway, because everyone here is a good person. But please don't harass him. Please don't go and, it's if you want to reply in the comments on the thing, that's fine. But don't go messaging him and give him time and all that kind of silly stuff.
If you do, it only just go, "Thanks to this person, I have now donated X amount of money into Meredith's camera pool." That's, in my opinion, not harassing. It's just to show that them being an asshole has actually backfired and ended up giving me money. But please don't
go harassing them or anything.
Yeah, don't go harassing. Like he's an asshole, but he doesn't deserve that.
No, he doesn't deserve what he did to Mero.
No, no, absolutely not.
So we shall scroll on.
Yeah. Well, my response, and I didn't really want this to come out because it's not something that I wanted to tell the world, because it's my financial situation. I don't feel like that's the world's business, to be honest with you. But my response is, actually, I can afford it. And I can afford getting a new camera. But as I said, I do put a lot of effort and time into my channel. Not that anyone's forcing me to, so but I do put a lot of time into it, and I've put a lot of money already into my channel, and I just know that some of my fans who can't be my patron for whatever reason, and that's totally fine, might want to just be able to give me a once-off, hey, here's some money towards the camera. But I was also planning I was going to match dollar for dollar. So if I raised the $1,000, I would put $1,000 into that. Hello, best name ever.
Hey.
Yeah, I was going to put that money into the account as well and try and get me about a really, really nice camera. So my that's what I was thinking about doing.
You actually don't need to justify that, because I mean, at the end of the day, you've put it out there and said, look, I want to get a new camera. I'm trying to raise money for it. If you like my content, please donate. You don't need to justify that. If people make the decision that they want to contribute to that, well, that's a decision that they've made. And they make that with the knowledge that you're putting that money towards a camera. You have absolutely nothing to explain or justify there.
It's not like you're holding a gun to the head or anything, Mero. You're not saying, "Oh, I'm not going to do any more content if you guys don't pay for my camera."
It's very old world thinking as well, because it's trying to stigmatize the idea that doing something online is somehow less valuable than doing something offline. So, like, I can go to the markets and people have done, made their handmade trinkets or items or cutting boards or whatever, and they can sell those, and there's no guilt, there's no, oh well, why should I pay for that thing that you've just put together in your shed? Yet when people put together digital content and serve it online, there's this perception that, oh well, that's just easy, anyone can do that, why should I have to pay any money for that? There's no value in that, which is, I think, thinking that is dying. And things like Patreon and stuff.
Content.
Yeah.
Although I'm part of the problem because I do my photography for free. So.
You bastard.
It was Sam's fault all along.
That's because I don't think I'm worth charging, so I don't. But yeah, anyway.
Well, I did mention in that thing that for every science video I do, atheist videos are a little bit quicker because I don't have to do the research. But every time I do a science video, I look at 20 hours worth of research into it. Even my testicle video that I did, which was only 7 minutes, was a good 10 hours.
You've been working at that for a while though.
Yeah.
Mary spent a lot of time researching testicles.
I even had to get out my textbook, my first year textbook, to try and get.
I have no idea. It was not even a joke. Not even a joke.
Well, I imagine you'd have a first-hand experience of how much time Mero had to spend researching your testicles.
Hey, who? They were in a textbook. Thank you very much. Wait, that's 2D. That doesn't help my case.
Did she close it too quickly?
Yeah, she snapped the book closed, and oh my god.
I mean, we know you're three-dimensional, but still.
Autobot Starscream is actually going, Navadia, you're a televangelist for atheists, so where's your tax breaks and cultural support for you asking money to keep your ministry going? I would love that. I would love to have some form of...
That's a really good point. Why don't we...
Education is an important public service, and so it shouldn't be taxed.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm so going to do that.
I'm not even kidding.
It's one of those things. No, it's one of those things that it is where the people that will really chuck a hissy fit about that are going to be the Christians that are benefiting the most about that.
Yeah.
Like the politicians will hear it and just go, "Yeah, we that makes sense. We'll pass it." So we'll have to pretend, atheism is a religion, but that'll pass. Like nobody will think twice about that these days. You could pass that, and then all of a sudden, boom, you have tax exemption just for doing what we're doing now.
Atheism non-profit org.
Yeah. Well, we need a Church of Atheism.
We could do it. We could do it as a non-profit. We just would have to declare our books, which would be fine because we would have no issue with that because we're not a church.
No.
I think I nailed it, and I'm not just saying that because Amanda is awesome, and I'm really, really, really feeling guilty. All hail Snack.
Yeah, the only thing is they're going to just say, you're worshipping the devil.
That's fine. The snake told the
They're still
truth.
like
So that's what we do.
But it doesn't matter. Even if that's what they think, that's what they think anyway. And
Well, that's true.
that, like, it really won't make a difference. It's still whatever they think is this religious freedom or this ability to have tax exemption through having a religious charity.
Just want to point out that a very good point has been made by Best Name Ever, who has said that Aussie accents are always sexy. So that's a fact. You can't argue, can you? I think.
She did say even the
Cannot
bad
argue
ones.
with that.
I don't know who she's talking about, eh?
Yeah, I know.
Probably me, because my fucking voice filters. It's not even my filter. It's just literally my computer setup. It's fucked.
Yeah, you can't say your computer sucks.
I know.
now.
It's so annoying. Like, it's a great computer. It's the one thing it doesn't do right, and I can't
It would
work it
shit
out.
me so much not being
Why
able
don't
to
you
fix
get
that.
a USB-based microphone? Not sure.
I have a USB-based microphone. I have two, and I've tested them both. Like, I've gone through all. Like, I am a bit of a techie. I'm not a complete nerd, but I'm a bit of a techie, so I know all the basic things that you.
I thought you said you were a bit of a testy, actually.
A bit of a testicle.
Right. I have a few of them as well.
I put my retweet for the Twitter in the chat if anybody wants to go. Like, if you've donated, I saw that there was a donation, so thank you to the person who donated. If you didn't, I'm not saying who it is. Because, hey, Osman, just in case that they wanted it to be
so slow.
just in case they wanted to be anonymous. But if you wanted to donate, and then in that retweet or respond saying, hey, so and so, thank you, I have now donated X amount of money to my thing, that would be awesome.
I hate the hypocrisy of Ron over this, though. I mean, he's complaining at you for what he'd probably call e-begging, but churches beg every fucking week when they hand out their collection bill.
Exactly.
It's all they fucking do. It's mostly their only source of income is fucking begging.
They have
Not only that, they try to insist that people pay a percentage of their income as their beg. So,
hey, your first fruits belong to God. You're just giving back to God what belongs to Him.
Yeah, it's not
God.
God's Caesar back to Caesar. Caesar's things back to Caesar.
Yeah, well, apparently God's face is on the Australian bills.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If God's all powerful and almighty and all shit and everything,
wait,
he
I'm
doesn't
sorry.
need
When
our
did
money.
they put ScoMo's face on the Australian bill?
Moratorium.
no politics. No politics.
Sorry.
Didn't you know, Nutcha? They've started putting pictures of arseholes on Australian currency.
Jen.
No, you said you wouldn't say that. Come on, Jen. You've come this far.
I didn't say that. I just said
There's no money with Kevin.
No,
Ronald.
you didn't say that. You didn't say that, which you just said. Yeah.
No, I said that. I didn't say the thing I said I wasn't going to say.
Didn't say it word for word.
That he's an asshole.
No,
Expressed it implicitly.
yeah, exactly. I did not say
What?
that.
No, what? What was it? What? I didn't hear it. What was it?
No, I'm not saying
What
what I
was
said
the
I wasn't
difference?
going to say.
Sorry, what was the difference?
What was the difference? One I hinted at it. The other one I would be directly saying it. And I did
I
not
actually
directly
named
say
the yeah, you didn't name it like in the
No,
same
I didn't name who it
sentence.
was.
It was like two different sentences. Okay.
No,
Okay,
it was your
okay.
sentence, and then I implied something from your sentence.
Yeah, that's two different sentences.
exactly.
You took my sentence and yeah, okay.
I implied something else from it. Yes. I also implied there was
That's
more
a
than one
likely
asshole.
excuse.
So anyway, so back to Saint Ron the Pure.
Yeah.
Ronnie Ding Dong.
Great segue.
So I love it how he says here that it's telling these poor saps out there that there's a conflict in believing in God and science, and that's anything but beneficial. But I just love that we're poor saps. So as a poor sap, I don't know how
we need to e-bag.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I was just like, Vice Rhino jumped in, and I'm really grateful because Vice Rhino, like I've been on his channel, but it was really awesome getting some support from some of the bigger, from Vice Rhino, who's one of the bigger
penis experts.
Yeah, and that was really awesome. And that's what I love about this community is that it doesn't matter how big you are. If you need help, like the bigger people are going to come in and help you. Like, you know, I've had Shannon, who's got $15,000 subscribers.
She got the money.
No, she's got 15,000 subscribers, and she's jumped in on one of my streams. I've had Jimmy jump in on one of my streams, like just in the side.
Paul jump in on your stream when you were at 250 subscribers.
Yeah, that's really awesome. And that's what I love about this community is that even it doesn't matter how big or small you are, we will support you and support each other. And so, yeah, I would have that any day than over St. Ron. The hypocrite here, here's the hypocrite that I think that's to you, Sam, has no problem with her calling me an asshole and for calling her nonsense, but suddenly thinks highly enough of Christianity to appeal to it morally. Typical. In my defense, my initial retweet said how to be an asshole on the internet. I did not call him an asshole. Very shortly after that, I called him an asshole, but my initial tweet did not call him an asshole. Not that would have cared.
Clarify, Ron is an asshole.
Yes, Ron is definitely an asshole.
Absolutely an asshole. So even if you had have called him an asshole, that's not you having a go at him. That's you stating a fact.
Yes.
I did think it was really sweet when he thought that I said, you know, he's acting like a Christian, and he thought I meant that in a good way, and that I was being hypocritical by not then acting like he thought I was saying a Christian should act. And I was like, oh yeah, Ronnie, no, that's not what I meant.
my favorite was when right at the end where he said that you and me were a match made in heaven, Sam.
Yeah,
I saw that. I'm like, you know what? A broken clock is right twice a day.
Hey, Mr. Bear.
Hey, Bear.
Yeah,
so
as
we continue, and yeah, Vice Rhino jumps in, and it's like you said, it's good when, especially the bigger content creators like people like Vice Rhino jump in and defend it. It's it's nice. People who aren't too big for the for the community.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm like, if I do get big, which might not happen, but if I do, I will make sure that I support the smaller creators, because everybody was a smaller creator once.
Oh, we'll hold you to that, Mara. You know that.
Pardon? Oh, I know, and you should hold me to it.
Well,
I think we should hold it. All of us should hold each other to it. If any of us make it there, as Australian content providers, we should hold each other to that we're all still there for each other.
No, I'm just going to snap you all and pretend I don't know you and just go, sorry, who? What?
I'll tell you what, there's still no other YouTube channels, atheists or not, that are Australian that I listen to or watch consistently. Like, it feels like YouTube Australia is like not super robust, which is a shame. So maybe it's something that, hopefully will grow and we'll be there.
Well, most of YouTube Australia is in this stream. You can add Mr. Bear. They're in the chat if they're not actually in there. You add Mr. Bear, add Art, and a couple of others like Ozman and that's it. We are it, more or less.
Apologies to anyone we just completely dissed then and missed out on.
I don't think we did. We added Mr. Bear. I mean YouTube content creators. I'm not talking about the other people who do.
We didn't mention you. We don't care.
No, we do care, but we were talking about YouTube content creators. Yeah. So I was being within content.
There are others that do our sort of
and Terry. Okay, we did forget Terry.
They're just
We
so hard to
did forget,
find.
Derek.
I don't know why. Like the algorithm on YouTube, like I wish it served more geographically local things to help discovery, because discovery seems really tough unless I see someone retweet something. I don't know how to find it.
Yeah, because when I found you, Sam, was it you or Chris?
I think I was like,
it was you.
I was bugging you
really
guys.
excited. I was really
Yeah.
excited. I was like, oh my god, there's another one.
You were first, Sam. Sam was first, and then Chris.
Yeah.
Because I started jumping in chats and stuff, and just thought, you know what, there's no point being one-sided. You got to be active and genuine.
And then we all started to plug you, and then we started to plug Chris as soon as Chris came.
And
on
Chris
the scene
took
as well.
off.
Yeah,
Yes.
Chris
And then
took
I was
off.
making videos for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oops.
It does hurt your growth when you do that.
Yeah, I know. Which sort of makes it tougher to make the next video, but yeah, anyway.
Oh, can I bring up, because I'm going through this again, through the thing with St. Ron. He goes, if one is to believe her response to my tweet, which is, I can't remember what the response is. It's not that her scientific expertise doesn't earn her enough for a new camera, but she wants to give viewers the opportunity to pay for it. Lol. So yes, please let me know, as I'm always amazed at how gullible people can be. And Critical Cripple Dave, I think you're in the stream at the moment. Fantastic fucking response, which is, have you seen the idiots that give to televangelists? Smart people want someone to give to too.
I did see that. I'm just trying, because there was a lot of threads that sort of jumped off from it. So
Yeah, that's the problem with Twitter.
Yeah, we were in the side chats. I mean, there's a whole side chat where he got transphobic and homophobic towards Andrew.
Yeah.
What a douche.
And then when we challenged him on there, he shut the fuck up. I think he realized at that point he'd overstepped the line. Also, I reported him. So
here it is. I reported the tweet.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
He's gone in and had a go at Andrew, which is just bullshit. Yeah, it's I was toying and having a little bit of fun, but this is where he crossed the line as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, actually, I haven't reported that tweet. Whereabouts is it?
You might be too late. Oh no, it's still there, isn't it? Because that's
you're in front of it. Can you just put it in this in the private chat?
Actually, put it in the chat, Chris. I think everyone should report it, because I don't tolerate that. If you want to do something else in the stream aside from make the comments from Mero about having contributed money, report that tweet, because it's fucking disgusting.
That is true. And yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Actually, I'm not going to tell anyone to report the tweet, because I think that breaches Twitter's terms and conditions. I'm just putting it there for context, and people can do whatever they want. I reported it, and if people want to do that, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. People do what you want.
Yeah. While you're doing that, if you feel like donating an extra couple of dollars to give this guy the middle finger, I've just put the PayPal pool link back into the chat. So if you want to donate, even $5 or $1, just so you can go, fuck you, and give the guy.
Notice after we called him out on that, though, he didn't come back on it at all.
No.
Just to give
I was prepared to call all of trans Twitter onto him over that. I didn't.
The Bible academic who can't properly apply scripture, because what he did was he decided to pull the old, what I call the Proverbs 26 card, which is because I kept saying to him, okay, well, prove it. Here we are. You got a room full of atheists. Prove your Bible. Convert us all. It's the Great Commission. Go for it. And he kept going. This Proverbs 26, which off the top of my head, I think it's the fool doesn't believe, and don't discuss things with those who are foolish. And then I hit him back with there's a line later in Proverbs 26 that says something along the lines of, don't involve yourself in arguments that have nothing to do with you, essentially. And anyway, he decided that was evidence that I didn't know what I was talking about. So rather than actually answer the question, what he kept doing was saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. I've won. I've proven you're wrong. So, I kind of got a little bit snarky with him and maybe told him to grow a pair and actually back himself. But, So that's
Getting a little bit to my GIF. There it is.
There's the GIF.
I love it.
I love you, Sam.
He didn't have the ball to defend his religion a few times, so. But I'd go.
Yeah, I think he realized in the end that he was just fighting with people who were greatly outclassing him in the smarts department.
Oh, that wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Anytime he came across like a concise, pointed question to specifically state his case, that branch of the Twitter just ended. Like there's just nothing. Crickets after that, and he'd go somewhere else and go, "Well, you don't know what you're talking about," or "You're a fool. I don't talk to fools." And
yeah, because
he really did shut up once he'd overstepped that line with the transphobia and homophobia, and we said we were going to call him out on that and report it.
Mind you, he also did go quiet for a while and then came back as well. So
he had to have lunch or dinner or something.
He might have just gone to bed.
Yeah.
Then couldn't sleep and woke back up and like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to save their souls and call them losers some more.
By calling me a hypocrite.
It's like the best way to convert somebody is to fucking insult them first.
Yeah. And it's sort of like when he was like, "Wow, you really need to reply." It's like you really need to read, and it's just like we are reading. You're being an asshole. And Sam, you made a good point. It goes, Ron's issue isn't with independent creators. His issue is with people who have a different view than him. So he attacks the legitimacy of their platform instead of discussing their ideas. Very Christian behavior.
Yeah, that's where he thought I was being hypocritical because he thought I meant Christian behavior as a positive.
Yeah, and he's like, here's the hypocrite that has no problem with her calling me an asshole for calling her nonsense out, but suddenly thinks highly enough of Christianity to appeal to it morally. Typical. So Andrew's like, he's not a hypocrite. You are acting like an asshole. And it's just like, what did he say?
Oh, poor Ron. This is what confuses me with like, if Ron is a legitimate, passionate Christian who believed that people that aren't saved are going to go to hell for eternity, why would you treat people like this? Like, I can't actually even empathize with that behavior thinking back to my Christian self. Like, I would never talk to an atheist that way. Like, I would always try to be a example, a shining light, all that sort of rubbish that they teach you. But for some reason, there's a lot of Christians on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook where it's the opposite. It's like, well, no, this is our cool club. You can't join our club because you're a fool and you're just, wallowing in sin.
Isn't that the Kent Hovind mentality, though?
But it's not consistent with their beliefs. Their beliefs that they are meant to be a light to the world, and that's what boggles my mind.
It's very much what Kent Hovind does.
I'm just sorry. I just got to say, like, it's not consistent with their beliefs. That's the point that you're tripping up on. But that's the point. Point something else that isn't inconsistent with their beliefs. You know, like, it's too easy. That's the thing. Like, it's just some people find other, like, you're coming from a similar place where I am, whereas, like, I could never have justified that when I was a Christian. But it's the fact that there are Christians that could easily justify that and would have that same sort of personality traits even if they were to become atheist.
True.
Can we just shield the daily atheist?
May as well. I think the reason is that they often that people, especially and now this is me just thinking, I could be totally wrong, but in the Bible, I know it's scary.
It's scary what she thinks.
People in the Bible. Okay. Danger Hissy says, I actually think I've had this wrong guy start with me on Twitter at some point. His MO and name really rings a bell. But I think the people in the Bible Belt actually get actively told that atheists are evil and they're not worth being respectful to. And
not just the Bible Belt.
Yeah. And like they're actually being told, people are being told by the priests and by the people in charge of the church that the atheists are genuinely evil people. And why would you?
Isn't that a JW thing too? Gotcha.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that sounds
Yeah.
very familiar. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't know why it's just the Bible Belt. Like, it's just there are certain religions and there are certain places to take those religions.
It's pretty much a
seriously.
fundy Christian thing, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably why.
There is definitely an us and them mentality.
Yeah, because even the church that I get paid to go to is very chilled out.
I love that.
I love that. I know. Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
But I've heard them say things along the lines of atheists are depressed and atheists are bad people who haven't seen Christ. Like, I've actually heard them say that. And they're actually really chilled out and quite a progressive church, and yet they still say shit like that.
I certainly wouldn't call my old church progressive or anything. But yeah, they had the same idea that you don't associate with people past the point where you are witnessing to them, because if you get caught up in their lives and their sin, then it can drag you down as well. And I don't want to say like you avoid bad association, because I think that's got connotations with JW. Like,
yeah, I was going to say I would say
tenets, because it's not quite the same as what happens in JWs, but it's the same message, just to a much lighter degree. Like, you know,
I'm just going to say after the other day,
the line that I used, but sorry, Jen, you go.
I was just going to say after the other day with you, Chris, and with you, Sam, I might stay out of the ACC discussions. I mean, I still think I'm right about it, but you were both in it. I wasn't. I only knew people who were in it, and I really should stay out of it.
For everyone, just so you get the context, I had a little hissy fit yesterday. Me and Sam had a little Twitter spatter, but a day later.
I mean, in all honesty, you and I started it, Chris, but you and Sam finished it.
Let the record show I had links, and I didn't say it yesterday, but I'll say it today. Horizon Church, when you go to What We Believe, they directly link to the ACC, which had what I was saying. Homosexuality is bad.
Oh, yeah, there was never a about that.
Yeah. But yesterday I thought, no, I'll stop. I won't get in the last word, but I'm right. But yeah, making that whole thing pointless.
But I mean, it was really bad for me actually yesterday, because I sort of sat back afterwards and thought, shit, was I just defending my old church? Like,
no, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but what I think your point was, and I think your point is valid, is that the ACC, and there's a few terms that people might know these churches by. They used to be called the Assemblies of God, or AOG, and they're primarily Pentecostal is the easiest way to understand them if you're from America. But the thing is, because they're a coalition of churches that associate with each other, they may have a structured doctrine tenet, but that can be expressed very differently from church to church. And so it may be expressed more liberally, it may be expressed more fundamentally, but at the core, they've sort of got this nasty little nugget of doctrine that then...
Oh, hell yeah.
And my only point about it is...
The church, if they had have said to me in a leadership role, is homosexuality okay? I would have said, well, no, it's a sin, but, you know, so are a lot of other things. And that was the general response. The attitude was, don't be of the world, be in the world, but not of the world.
Yep.
That was what we used.
It's still just as bad, to be honest, though.
It is. And when I look back on it, I mean, I'm horrified by some of the things I used to believe and think and say. Like, I'm absolutely mortified now, and I'd love to get a time machine and go and slap my younger self around the back of the head a few times and say, "Wake up, wait!" But you know,
that's where I'm very lucky with my history as a Christian, because I was Uniting Church and I had very forward-thinking parents, that I never was exposed to any of that. I was in a church that was accepting of gay people, and was quite happy to reinterpret passages in the Bible to make the church more accepting. So, and was quite progressive in that. I mean, the fact that the Uniting Church has gay and lesbian ministers in it was was the first church in Australia to actually hold a a gay marriage, and the fact that I got married to my husband in the Uniting Church after I transitioned, and before there was anything like gay marriage, because they didn't see it as gay marriage, and trans people were allowed to be married.
The Uniting Church is a very
an enigma, actually.
Yeah. There's also a Pentecostal church, and I remember I actually met up with the guy who pastors it probably 8 years ago, because I think we were trying to save each other's souls at the time. And it's a gay Pentecostal church that basically is gay affirming. So, sorry, I just dropped my microphone. So if anyone heard a smash, that's what that was. It was a gay affirming Pentecostal church. So there are exceptions out there, but I think generally the most churches, I think most Pentecostal churches will go by the attitude of, look, we think it's bad, but we don't want to talk about it because
they basically go down the line of hate the sin but not the sinner, which is basically equates to the same thing but in a softly approach.
It's a passive aggressive way of basically.
Yeah, it basically is. It's still disgusting, just not as outwardly disgusting. It gives a quasi nice face to their bigotry.
I actually find it almost more distressing that they try to make it palatable, just because it means
I'd rather they were just honest about their bigotry. Yeah.
But anyway,
I think I know that when I was, I guess I can only talk from my experience. I was never comfortable with the being against homosexuality. That was always a struggle for me, because I had friends who were gay, and it was always okay, I get what the Bible's saying, but surely I always struggle with the whole, if God's made people a certain way, well, and I think a lot of people in Pentecostal churches probably have the same sort of view. I think there's a lot of, okay, well, this is what the Bible says, and yep, that's what the Bible says, but we're just kind of going to, a bit like slavery, we're just going to kind of not talk about it, because if we can't see it, it mustn't be there, sort of thing. So that was, I think that was the attitude with a lot of people. I mean, you do get some hardcore fundamentalists who are just, everyone's going to hell, everything's a sin, and
it's almost don't ask, don't tell, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember a fundamentalist mate of mine. He had a problem with me being within the Pentecostal movement, because he said, it was false doctrine, and happy clappy, and it was Christianity light, and postmodern Christianity, all that kind of stuff, and we were just as bad as the sinners, and we were going to go to hell, and that was just going to lead me away from God, which I guess he was kind of, but that was the thought within, I guess. Well, I mean, that was my experience and of that particular church and other churches I went to. I was also with C3. That's probably where I was primarily. So Christian City churches, which is a large sort of grouping of churches.
I've actually been to a C3 service.
Oh, there you go. You've never been to New South Wales, though, so it wasn't one I was preaching in.
No. But I've been to a C3 service. I have been to a C3 service post-transition.
Okay. Yeah, and look, you probably find going into one of those churches, you wouldn't. I mean, I didn't realize that.
I didn't tell them.
I wouldn't, but you would find that there wouldn't be any issues. Like there is a little bit of a thing. I know there was a guy who used to be. He was a cross dresser at one of the churches I went to, and there was a big push to. That was like the big. You get him saved and get him on the track. Well, that's it's like 1,000 points for God or something.
Worth more points, are they?
That was the big sort of trophy, and
they're God points, and God points aren't worth anything, as I told Ray Comfort.
Yeah, and by the same token, it's a lot of people who used to go to church with me. They're always trying. I'm always getting the occasional message from someone trying to convert me back, because they know that, well, if we can bring Chris back, oh wow, how good will that be? And it's like it's a big scalp, and realistically, it's just there's a lot of that goes on within the church. There's a lot of trying to prove that you're the best and the best Christian out there, and it's very competitive.
There's a very celebrity focus.
I really want to just quickly jump in here. I'm gonna have to get cruising, guys. Thanks for having me on, but I really need to eat because eating is important, and I haven't eaten tonight yet. Yeah, I'm kind of dying. But have fun.
All right,
why aren't you feeding him, Mero?
If Mero disappears,
he's not at my place. How the fuck am I supposed to feed him?
You just get on your Uber Eats app and just send it to us.
Yeah, actually, I was strongly considering that, but I'm not as rich as that.
You're not as rich as Mero.
Anyway.
We went and got 15 for the KFC. We drove to it though, so.
Anyway,
I had that.
I gotta go find somebody.
Good luck.
Have fun. Thank you, and enjoy your night. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. I will say though, 4 people is more
visually
balancing on the screen.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Brady Bunch, I feel like sort of doing this and
Brady Bunch.
Oh, the wrong way. There we go.
No, aren't you supposed to go down?
But yeah, the problem is it's weird, so it's sort of like and we just need Alice to pop up in the middle.
Who?
Alice, the housekeeper,
the cleaner. Yeah.
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 It's a story.
Now
you want me. Now I want to animate that and do it as an intro to Six Pack.
Yes.
Get everyone that's involved. But should Jay be Alice?
Would you do the song if we did that?
We need to make it sound like it, but just enough so we don't get copyright struck.
Right, yeah.
Similar to, but legally distinct from. And to be fair, if you change your words to be about atheism, it's parody and covered by copyright fair use.
Yes.
See, this is why you're my favorite word.
Mm.
My wife's so loyal.
No, although if you do a Disney song like that, they don't fucking believe you.
No, they'll try and take you to court and you won't fight back because they're Disney, but you can still probably get fair use if you wanted to fight them. The problem is fighting them. So
yeah.
And who wants to do that? So I think I kind of got a bit off track there, didn't I? Because we were talking about Christian trolls and the fun Christian trolls. So
what were we talking about at the end? Because I've lost track of this conversation.
AOG, ACC.
Oh, we were too, and we were yeah.
So
I mean,
my Twitter
I think in our zest to point out how much of a thing that we think a certain prime minister is.
No.
I said I did not say it. No, but in it, I'm just going back to the other discussion. I think both Sam and I were very intent on proving our point about the ACC to the point of not listening to what you were actually saying.
And I just
disagree.
On the defensive because I'd had 1,000 messages from people over the. I had a bit of a thing, I guess, to give people context that this is not me getting into politics. People have decided I'm like the token conservative atheist, which is different in Australia to the US. I'm just going to preface it. So I tend to have a lot of people who will see something and then want to send me a stupid message. It's normally to do with Trump and it's always Americans and like I'm not in America and I really don't care about American politics, to be honest.
I do think we should care a little bit because
I'll be honest,
America is so powerful. Personally, that's my personal opinion.
Business that imports pretty much 80% of things from America, so I kind of hate the American economy tanks, so I can buy things cheaper. Because
what I love about America is they're incapable of managing their own political system.
The political system sucks.
I was just fucking.
No, that was. I had a little bit of a. I'd had a couple of shit days, and I was a bit. I sort of was just over getting these messages, so I put a bit of.
Thank you, Art.
Sorry. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's where it all sort of came from. So that's the context behind it. And anyway, back to good things. Art's going to do it wrong. Yes.
Yeah. And we'll just have to get little clips of each of us and maybe us sing a little bit of each of the chorus or something like that. And we'll cut it.
Right
and
now.
No, not right now. We'll figure it out later, and we'll cut it and do it as an intro for Chris to use their Friday night six pack. The Aussie atheist sponge.
I've been looking for a bit of an intro, so it's we can do that. The atheist sponge.
Oh well, as long as you don't steal my intro. My intro is.
The problem you've got now, Mara, is people love you doing that so much you could never actually have a proper musical intro.
I'm not allowed.
I reckon a remix of it will work. I reckon you keep the very clear dupe use and you just put a sick trap beat underneath it.
I'm thinking happy hardcore.
Yeah, actually, a sample of you doing a whole heap of just a sample of you doing a whole heap of badoopy doos, and a good drum track underneath it and everything, and it'd be just awesome.
I've got a funny story to tell you guys, actually, and this is going back to church days. They had an international Christian DJ came to.
Mr. Bear. Sorry.
And
did he do tricks? Was he a real DJ, or did he just play the song?
He was like proper. He'd done like music for the Matrix, but he had a ministry where he was then like Alias and things like that. But he had this ministry where he was going around doing. I have to find his. I'm going to make a point of finding it before the end of this.
It's not DJ Madge.
I can't think of it. But I just remember it was like it'd be this techno music, and then he'd just come over his DJ and he'd just go in the throne room with Jesus.
You and Jesus are like shitting at the same time or something? Like
it was great. But it was funny because you could tell that night at church, because they had the dance party, you could tell who the clubbers were and who the clubbers were. There was a few people doing a conga line, and then there was a few of us who were kind of like looking like we were peeling off our chops, but I never did that. Okay, I'm just going to be very clear, that never happened. But I would imagine that that's what I would have looked like. I
don't believe you. Do the whole St. Ron thing. I don't believe you.
Do you have any of those? Do you have any of those rave pants with the flared bottoms?
No, but I used to have these. Okay. I used to have these orange like glasses that were just like the tinted glass that went with my bleach blonde hair, and it was the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was just a cool time.
We can't blame you.
No, it was a product of the era. So
in context, it was fine.
Yeah,
it was awesome back then. Yeah, and I had the one ear pierced, of course, with the earring there.
The left or the right?
The left, because
bloody schoolyards.
Because you didn't want to get called gay, did you?
Well, that's what it meant. If you had the right ear pierced, it meant you were gay. If you had the left ear pierced, it meant you were straight. And if you had both ears pierced, you were going for whatever, or you just didn't realize and you'd fucked up. There was a few people who did that. They just did it to be cool. It's like, oh, so you're bi, and they'd be like, what are you talking about? And that's back, the late 90s.
That's schoolyard logic. Bam.
Right, yeah.
That's just biology.
I'm older than you guys. Was there actually an issue with coming out that you were bi in high school?
I don't remember anyone discussing being bi in high school myself.
There was one guy in high school who he was gay, and he copped the worst time of it. Like,
gay people did.
Yeah.
But if there was less stigma to people who actually admitted that they were bi than there was to people who were gay when I was
if they were girls. When I was younger, if they were girls, I was less stigma.
Yeah, hang on. I don't remember what I had to go through going through high school, though.
I talked about like Harvey Bay, and like there's a lot of sexism behind it over fantasizing and fetishizing from men.
I mean, I copped absolute shit in high school.
Because it was like Dawson's Creek or something like when I was in high school. And there was this thing like Misha,
so
whatever.
They got it worse. It must have just been my high school or something.
Yeah, Jack was gay on Dawson's Creek. Yeah. Not that I ever watched the show like a million times.
I never watched it, but what's her name? Misha or whatever, the actress's name. I remember that they were like made it a big thing that she snogged another chick. Like,
Jamila, no?
Yeah. No, I think it was Michelle Williams.
Pardon?
I think it was Michelle Williams. She married Heath Ledger.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up her name. Now that I know.
There's a big thing at the moment with all the political lesbians who are mostly centrist or right wing, saying that you can't be a lesbian, you can't be bisexual, sorry, if you're in a relationship with somebody of the opposite gender or opposite sex. Yeah, hang on. The person you're in the relationship at the time is just about that relationship at the time. It doesn't have any major bearing on what your overall preference can be. Or do they expect that you have to have multiple partners to be bisexual?
They expect you to use their definition how they use it, not your definition how you
That's
use
exactly
it.
what they do. They are the only ones who can define
That seems to
anybody
be,
is.
yeah, that seems to be a common issue with this type of discussion, is that people can't understand that other people process the world differently and use words differently.
It's the same arguments we have with Christians. It's just that, it's mostly the same fucking people making those arguments, but they're making them about different things. It's incredibly frustrating and annoying.
Actually, it was interesting. I did an interview about 2 weeks ago with someone who they were a poly. Sorry, I'm having a polygamous counselor. So I was about to say polytheist counselor, but a polygamous counselor, and sort of talking about how that's sort of now becoming a lot more normalized, and it's it's sort of it's weird though how people just want to. It's just such a narrow thing that everyone wants to label everyone in. If you're this way, you've got to be doing it like this, or if you're that way, you've got to be doing it like that. It's just it's not black and white. It's just so not black and white.
I want to ask Hissy a question based on what she posted, because she answered me before about things in high school experience. Did you find, Hissy, that the guys could be more physically cruel to you if you were different in sexuality or gender identity, but the girls were more emotionally cruel? So the psychological attacks that you would get were way worse from the girls.
The cliche of that seemed true to me in high school at the time. Like, just outside point of view, it did seem like it was more about the rumors and...
Yeah, but women are just bitches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Men will just go beat the shit out of each other and be over it the next day.
Yeah, exactly. To be honest with you, I probably would have preferred that.
What, getting beaten up? No. Don't get beaten up. It's not fun.
No, at least you can
walk away from the insults, but a beating up sometimes you can't walk away from.
But at least you have the physical things. Hey, I'm being bullied, and actually they'll do something about it. Okay,
not always.
I got slugged in the back of the head in grade 8, but the kid had to jump. I say the kid, I was a kid as well. The bully had to jump to hit me in the back of the head because I was probably already like 5'12", 6 foot in grade 8. And he turned around, formed up, ready for a fight, and I didn't fight him. And to be fair, I think I was like mocking him mercilessly at some point. But he was a bully too, so it was all fine. But yeah, I didn't fight him, and he just sort of goes, "Oh shit," and seemed a little bit confused by it. And I think 2 weeks later, I heard he had been expelled for fighting, and I thought that was funny. Not that I'm proud that I did mock him in front of some girls.
I got a few cases where people deliberately came at me to hurt me, but my brother decided that he was going to toughen me up. I don't know whether that was an attempt to fix me, but he also wanted to make sure I could defend myself. So he got me into doing Taekwondo. So I learnt martial arts.
I too.
I did martial arts.
One grade off my
martial arts.
I was one grade off a black belt.
Yeah,
I got my black belt. So.
Oh, bitch.
Yeah, but I actually used to get... People used to bully me about doing martial arts. I'm like, why the fuck are you bullying me about learning how to punch you in the face?
That downward block, there's the rip to the testicles and then the hit that it can be turned into.
What did you actually do, Mary?
Maybe it was...
I didn't do anything. I did taekwondo.
Martial arts. What martial arts?
I did taekwondo.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. 3 of us here are taekwondo. And we have to bow to you. Fuck.
I did re-taekwondo.
I think mine was Ree as well. I can't remember. I did that.
Our master was Mr. Kim, Sokpong Kim.
I'm such a weeb because like when I was a kid, I was into Street Fighter, which is part of why I wanted to do martial arts. But one of the reasons I didn't get to the black belt is because I switched from Ri Taekwondo to Shukukai Karate, which is the same form of martial arts that Ryu and Ken in Street Fighter do, and that was like a major reason.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
I didn't reach a black belt because I damaged my knees. The doctor actually told me to give up. So I did. But I learned to defend myself, and when I was in high school, there was one of the guys who was bullying me decided that he was going to come and clap me, and he was a fucking idiot because when he ran up behind me to do it, and I heard him, so I turned around and side kicked him and sent him flying and landing on his fucking ass. And after that, they no longer physically bullied me because they realized I could defend myself, and I would defend myself because I didn't before. I don't like violence, but there was no way I was going to let him run up and actually smack me one. Not when I could see it coming, and he was on his own. And at that point, they left me alone physically, but I still copped all the psychological torment from people and stuff like that. So, so at least they didn't cop the physical. A lot of people did.
Towards like I say the one gay kid. Maybe he wasn't, but that's what he. There was a lot of it. When I look back, a lot of psychological and emotional. I'm proud to say I didn't participate, but I also didn't do anything to stop it. And I think back then it was very easy. It was you'd call something gay, or oh, you're gay, or you're this, or you're that, and that's sort of look back at. And I get kids in a different era, but it's still pretty fucked up when I think about it.
Exactly.
But, that's changing though, because I look at the attitude of my kids now, and they're too young to really understand a lot of things. But for them, it's just like it's not even a bat the eyelids. It's I took my kids to drag queen story time, which is
cool.
And a friend of mine actually does the drag queen story time.
You said that you should see if you can interview him.
You know what? I would love to. It's just the whole doxing thing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty recognizable, and that'd be in a particular local area you could identify.
Yeah.
If people really wanted to dig, they could probably work out who I am without. Not that I'm any freaking big celebrity or anything, but it wouldn't be too hard. But I'm not at the point. I think it's a bit like I think Seth Andrews spoke about it when he first started doing it. He knew that eventually he would sort of put his name to everything, but he wasn't ready, and I'm just not ready. And maybe I will.
Fair enough.
Maybe I won't be, but I'd love
to. Jen, you might be able to interview them.
I could,
as long as you don't bring up Chris.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah,
because it'd be interesting, especially in relation to the crap that happened this year.
Yeah, with that kid, like they came out and abused the story time, drag queen story time.
Yeah,
and then
you'd have to. It needs really sensitive gloves to touch that one though, because of these following suicide and everything. But
yeah, that was sad.
That whole situation was just messed up. That's a classic example of I guess the impact that what people say online, like good old Saint Ron, when they go and attack people, that impact that they can have, and that's why I said don't go after Saint Ron, because we don't want anything as much as Saint.
Well, we're bullies.
Yeah. Look, Saint Ron is like an idiot, but he doesn't deserve to be bullied to the point of hurting himself. That's true.
No. But yeah, so it's but yeah, so I took my kids there, and they just it wasn't even a thing for them. It's just because I almost said the name there, but my friend, I'm just going to say Adam, because that's my friend's name, not stage name, but Adam. Puts on a show, and it's really, really entertaining. So it's just for the kids. They just thought it was wonderful. And my daughter and sort of said, "Oh, there you go, Miss insert name here." But for them, it's just like it's not even a consideration. So I think that the generations that are coming up are going to have it a lot better. I hope. I really hope. But it's. I remember someone saying to me, "Oh, what would you do if your son turned out to be gay?" I was like,
"Love him and care for him and hope he has a happy life."
Oh no, I had that bitch the other day who blamed the cult of trans for taking her children away from her.
Oh yeah, that
Instead
was
of
an
the cult
interesting read.
Instead of the cult of her religion pulling her away from her kids and her dissing her kids.
It's like the gay agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. I mean, it's
Yeah.
exactly the same language. Every single thing that they use against trans people now is exactly the same shit they used against gay and lesbian people 10, 15, 20 years ago. It's the same stuff recycled because they don't have anything else. All they've got is bullshit that they made up.
See you later, best name ever. Can I do a bit of a shill for purple? So does everybody here know
purple? Yes.
Yeah, purple rhymes with orange.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know who he is, which, you know, if you're on this stream and you
don't know who purple is, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He is he's a sweetheart. He is one of the most underappreciated people in our community, and he needs to go and move because it's where he lives is not impacting very well on his life or his health, his mental health. He's just not doing very well. He was planning on moving out of where he is this year, and he got stiffed out of 6 months worth of pay. So he had everything saved up to move out. And then he's like, oh, I don't have any money. So he doesn't have, so he's not being financially irresponsible. He's being financially abused. So he's trying to raise some money.
$2,500.
$2,500. And to be honest with you, I would much prefer people to donate to him rather than to me because
his need is right now American weight.
Yeah, exactly. I have donated myself. Hang on, give me a moment. My computer is going, where is it? So I'm just trying to find the link to his PayPal. He prefers PayPal. He's got both PayPal and GoFundMe, but he prefers PayPal because apparently the fees are less.
Less fees, yeah.
Yeah. So if you could please just chuck him some money. He is a sweetheart and needs to be supported.
Yes, please go and support him.
Yeah.
And watch streams. I was in one today. You should be watching his streams.
Yeah, no, they're good. I listened to it. I didn't jump in the side chat because it was just like You've
been in one before though, haven't you, Mara?
I've been in a few, yeah.
Yeah, I believe after I left, Notcha jumped in and saw out most of the rest of it for a while. So because it was our daytime that his stream today was in, he wanted a few Aussies to pad out the group.
Yeah. No, so if you could please at least chuck a couple of dollars towards him, he does need it and he deserves it. And yeah. So that absolutely. I've dropped in the PayPal link in the chat. Yeah. So, and also if you do donate a certain amount of money, you actually get an option to choose like gifts made by Pirate Kitty and some like collectibles that he has and things like that. So, you know.
Did I see Pirate Kitty in the chat before or?
Yeah, she was for a while.
On Twitter.
There's a lovely person who I really wish she'd make more content.
Yeah. But I think from what Not Just described him as is sort of like a smaller Shannon Q. So Shannon Q finds up and coming content creators, and so does Purple. Purple also does that as well. Like he just comes across them. So he's he's responsible for a couple of
Well, in all honesty, I think it was because of Purples that I met Notcher and ultimately met you.
yeah,
Mary. So it wasn't even that we were all Australian; it was all through Purple. He just goes, "You lot are all Aussie."
Yeah, he's like networking people together and helping the community to call us.
Yeah. I found Notcher through Surus.
Yeah.
So we can blame Surus for me.
I blame Surus for a lot of things.
Yeah. How about you?
I found everyone through Navadia, so
that's all your fault, Mary.
Well, that goes back to Surus still.
Yeah.
So the degrees of separation, you got to track it all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Mary's been very good with trying to make sure we all get together and do things. But in all honesty, Chris, lately that's sort of become your responsibility.
Yeah. I've just
she sucked you into the fact you have a job.
I'd say I didn't even realize I had it. There you
go.
It kind of is because I mean before you came on the scene, we were trying to do down under discourses and things like that where we all got together and made streams, and it never stuck. We could never organize ourselves. And you have made this consistent, and it's worked out really well. So
I'll be honest, I'm just boring and have no original thoughts for content, so I just need to get everyone else on to do it for me. So
fair enough.
We don't mind, but it's good fun, and you're great to talk to. I mean, and one of the things with all of us is our areas of expertise, whilst they overlap, there's enough disparagement between us that. Yeah, that's the wrong word.
No, that's right. Disparagement is the right word.
Disparagement is right. Yeah. No, there's enough there's enough difference within us in subjects and stuff like that we can actually cover a wide range of topics, and I find that absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, because you and I, Jen, are very science orientated.
Yeah,
while Chris and Sam are.
Sam are the dumb guys who went to Bible college.
Exactly.
But you have a depth of Christian knowledge that way outweighs what Mara and I can do.
I'd rather.
And then we've got Notcher, who knows all about the crap
cults.
that the cults do. So, I mean, we've got our own little community here that cover an awful lot of things, and we can do a lot of the same stuff. There's less of us, but we can still cover a lot of the same stuff that the big guns in the US cover. So I can see big things for our community, but it's going to take time and a lot of work for each of us. But I can see it, and I think it's a good thing. We need that.
We're all growing, and I don't know about yourselves. I'd imagine it'd be the same, but I do get messages from people who are Aussies and are genuinely happy to hear Australian voices and different thoughts and different opinions. Because I guess there's a lot of American content out there, a lot of English content out there too. But realistically, I guess it's the four of us plus Notcher.
Well, actually, another one of us who there's a couple of others of us who don't actually make their own content who join streams.
Yeah.
Like Watchtower, and Demonic Davros.
Yeah, absolutely.
I forgot about before, and they join streams and they contribute to this community, and they may in the future make more of their own content. So that's more people who will come in. Well, I know that Watchtower wants to make more of his own content.
When I started my channel, I could not find a single fucking atheist channel. I searched everywhere. I put Australia, atheism, ex-Christian, just could not find it anywhere. And when I found Notcher through Surus, I was absolutely blown away because I was just, it's a sense of loneliness. Did you guys get that?
The granddaddy. But did we? Not to the same extent, because I mean, I guess because when I first came in, I didn't realize I was the same as you, Mara. I didn't know about Notcher. I didn't know about yourself. It wasn't until Purple pushed us all together that I had an idea of, there's these other people out there, and the same with Ozman, who's probably gone to sleep now, and I'm feeling better soon. But I didn't know about you guys, and that's dreadful statement of our community, that people in Australia who are looking for something, who are looking for help, whether it's in Twitter or Facebook or through YouTube content, can't find Australians to come to who share the Australian experience, because our experience is different to the US one.
Well,
I was looking on YouTube. Oh, sorry, go on, Chris.
No, you're right. You go first.
I was looking specifically for the content on YouTube and couldn't find it. There were times where my first video recorded was before I knew of any Australian atheist YouTubers, which didn't get published and won't get published. But it wasn't until actually going to somewhere else like Twitter, and I think YouTube is just really bad at serving relevant content. When it comes to finding people like you, it's only good for finding content that is good across YouTube, across America, across the major markets, and it's just really bad at helping Australians find.
Actually, I'll create art that Art came and found us.
Yeah,
he's the variant here. He actually found us. He found Mero, and through Mero came and found the rest of us. So.
I was doing research. I went to Facebook originally, and Australian Facebook atheism is a frigging swill. It's
left-wing propaganda, though, isn't it?
It's even when it's not left-wing, it's just truisms and trite memes, and it's not thoughtful or interesting. It's just reactionary.
Yeah. So that was I did the YouTube thing and search. I found the atheist experience, which that was probably my intro. And all right, cool. This is something. And from there, I think I saw Apologia on the atheist experience. So I started to see, or I saw someone else, and then it sort of it linked to a few, and I saw Apologia, and then Mero shows up on Apologia, and I was like, that's an Australian voice. That's an Australian. I got very excited.
My gosh.
So
I actually think that's how I found Mero too.
I was all in. It's like, yes, Aussie, and and then went back and watched the content. I'm like, this is good content that's relevant to me. And
how did you not know about Notcher then?
I
because Notcher was on Paul's channel before Mero was.
No, he's never been on Paul's channel.
No. I thought he was.
I went through a phase of binging Apologia because he was like my man crush for atheism.
Right, now that's why I ended up with I must have dreamt that thing, because I am sure Notcher's been on Paul's channel. Oh dear.
But yeah, no, I came across because after I got in touch with Mero, and she said, hey, check out all, because I said, oh, how good is it, an Aussie, awesome. And she sent me basically a list, check out this one. I'm just like, cool, sub. And that's how I found everyone.
Yeah. No,
so I was genuinely starting to get everything set up, because I thought there's no Aussie voices out there. So I'll put something together and I'll do my best. And then I sort of found everyone. I was like, oh, hang on. No, there is other people out there, but I still did it anyway. So it was good.
Well, I just
said Dave agrees with me that Notcher was on Paul's channel. Are you sure, Mero?
I'm sure, because Notcher was kind of pissed that I was on.
Oh,
Paul.
You were on first.
Yeah,
but that doesn't surprise me, because you actually talked to Paul and more than he.
Also, I just realized now that we've had this conversation that I have not put tags in my channel saying atheism, Australian atheism, Australian.
Oh, really?
So if all of us put
talking about this, yes.
We should do that.
Why don't we do a promo video for Atheist Australians, where we show clips of each of us, and we all publish it on our channels, and that way people looking for other Aussies, it can be in there, and we can tag it. Us can all appear in that, but in the description we can have Aussie atheists who make content, and then any new people come in, even though they won't be in the video, we can put them in those descriptions. And that way, anyone finds any of us, they can find the others.
Yeah.
I've already got a full list of tags that include like Australian atheism.
All right. Yeah.
I've just set it up as default tags, so I can just add whatever's relevant to that video, but it still has like a few dozen tags that default to all my videos, including my username, which apparently it's a good one.
Okay. Well, I've also
I'm starting to get a little bit of traction with mine, funnily enough. It was because mine's probably the worst for to find.
Everyone just calls you Pastor.
I know.
You should change your name to Atheist Fettuccine.
I reckon just Atheist like Pasta.
Pasta.
Yeah. She's still Atheist Pasta.
It would be searchable, but yeah.
Well,
not my
name.
So
I'm starting to come up because I've had people like in the real world who I've sort of said, here's what to search for, and they found. I think because I got the /atheist pastor.
You got the vanity link.
Yeah, so I think
that makes it easier.
Do you put your username in your tags for every video?
Who actually remember my Donkey Tree channel saying, "Why didn't you just keep using that?"
Did you change it
in
to
the Bible
in the corner?
This was Bunnypedia originally. This was actually a channel I was going to do with my niece Peter, who you guys have met. Well, some of you guys have met when we were both looking after rabbits, and she was actually she wasn't breeding, but we had a friend who was breeding. We were going to actually do a thing about looking after rabbits and did make videos about. This is about 8 years ago. So that's how long this channel has existed. My channel, not this channel. My channel.
This is more fun, though, isn't it?
But I renamed that channel because I had absolutely no intention of ever using that. I still have Donkey Tree Productions as a channel, which I could use for other content in the future if I wanted to.
That's all.
Every time I have to fucking explain why Donkey Tree. It's one of the reasons why I stayed with my new Twitter account, because nobody was going to ever ask me that again. It's just really annoying, and that's Peter's fault as well. So
I think we do need to do something. I think the atheist community in Australia in general needs to do something better. I mean, there's the Atheist Foundation, but I'll be honest, and apologies if anyone from the Atheist Foundation is watching. Sorry, but the Atheist Foundation is useless in Australia.
Couldn't find anything useful on their site to
engage
with, so.
No. I sent something to join up and never heard a thing back. So
well, the same with the whatever the atheist group is in Perth is next to fucking useless.
Same in Queensland. It's dead as far as I can tell.
Getting something set up, or even just sort of putting the framework.
And yeah, Australians Faithless Forum, according to Mara, was quite good. So.
It wasn't. It was Skepticon.
Skepticon.
It wasn't it wasn't Faithless from Skepticon, and it was more science based.
So that's why it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But there's definitely a lot of atheists out there, because I mean, I know people who I used to go to church with. That I mean, the day I put on Facebook that I was an atheist, and it was the scariest thing I'd done to that point. I actually had a lot of people who I went to church with, or who were still in church, get in touch and say, "Hey, me too," and I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to turn to. So there's, and at the time I wasn't equipped to really do much for anyone apart from say, "Well, here's what I'm doing, here's what I'm looking for, and here's my journey." But I think we do need to have something. We need. I mean, look, in America they've got like American Atheists. There's a pretty decent sort of organization, I guess, but we need something similar here. We've got to have it. But in the meantime, we just need to get more people watching YouTube videos. So, so everyone can be familiar with Lucius the Snake.
So we should have the Atheist Community Australia.
Yeah, the Atheist Community of Australia, and
ACA.
ACA.
Or a current
the Atheist Community Coalition.
Oh, by the way, just letting you know, remember how I told you I had that person telling me that I wasn't, on my channel, not St. Ron, but the other person on my channel about me talking in tongues?
Mm.
Yeah.
So they actually replied and told me that I wasn't speaking in tongues. But I was.
You were. That was tongues.
I was.
That was definitely tongues.
I was definitely talking in tongues.
I can tell you the tongues I was talking in sounded exactly like the tongues I used to do, because my wife was cringing and laughing as she watched it while I was this beautiful shade of bright red.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Beautiful.
Absolutely hilarious.
When you did the Christian video, and I'm watching it live, and I wasn't expecting it at the start, and there's me praying in tongues. I'm just like, oh no. I'm just like, oh my God, that was terrible.
I hope I actually linked you in that. I think I did. I hope so. If not, I apologize. Oh. It's actually become one of my
you've done enough.
I think it's one of my most popular videos as well.
Has it really? That was quick. Although,
Yeah,
you're gonna get-
last video like 2 weeks ago.
I'm going to say it's a
Maybe
very
3 weeks.
clickbaity title.
yeah, it really is. Yeah.
It'll be
And
out of order, but does that mean there's a baptism video next?
Maybe.
Ooh, yeah,
I'm sweating enough because of this. Well, I was basically sweating enough while I was recording that to be baptized anyway. So
One of these.
freaking hot.
Nice.
At the Merrow, and I think what I was thinking of doing was channeling my inner Brian Houston and maybe doing some Bible lessons with the new Christian Navadia, where we can talk about things like slavery and her new place in the world as a Christian woman who isn't as a Christian man, but she's got to learn to tone back that feminism.
Oh, and then Mero can start doing the things about being a good Christian woman.
Yeah, I'll respond to like Laurie.
Yeah, you can respond to
Laurie,
that.
yeah.
Transform my wife, or maybe something.
No, hang on. You've got to do the transformed Navadia.
Yeah.
The transformed atheist.
No, that would assume that I'm an atheist, but the transformed Navadia would sound good. But yeah, so remember how we were talking about how St. Ron refused to believe that we knew what we were talking about? Yeah, well, I think Maddie FR, the person who tells me that I shouldn't make fun of talking in tongues, is saying, look, you aren't speaking in tongues. So that's another one of my favorite, is that I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. Everything you say is a lie.
Well, everyone knows that the only real church is the Second Baptist Church, out in the middle of Nebraska. That's the only one that's got it right, of course.
Yeah, or the Catholic Church.
Oh, of
There's
course.
an Australian atheist Discord.
Is there?
Is it?
They've
I'm
just
sure there is.
Oh, thank you, Dave.
Should we have some fun?
Hey, there's a whole group of us over here.
Come and watch our content, you bastards.
You guys are the minority. Surprise.
And there's going to be like 15 Australian atheists, and we're like,
277 members.
Okay. All right. Is it a decent one, or is it a political slugfest, or is it a?
Here are rules, Australian atheists. Don't know.
That's good. To answer Danger Hissy's question, there is a lot of imitating pastors, but I think a lot of it, there was a lot of tongues that was similar from, I guess, churches that were associated with each other too, because I think it's just sort of like a copied thing. My tongues were always slightly different, so people would look at me weird when I went to my new church, and that does happen, and it's definitely imitating the preacher.
You definitely notice accents in different places.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Just because they've got different babble that they base it on.
Yeah.
Actually, did I tell you the story of when there was a girl in my class when I was in year 5? You are an honorary Aussie, Amanda, and I'm
honorary Aussie.
Welcome you into our loving arms and hearts.
There's an initiation. We will be sending the Vegemite.
Yes. Anyway, there was a girl in my class, year 5, if I remember correctly, which means she was about 11 years old, started talking in tongues in scripture. And looking back on that as an adult, I'm like, your parents are assholes for doing that to you.
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
Have you seen what is it, Bible Camp on Netflix, where they got kids speaking in tongues and stuff? Like, it's American Pentecostal Church, like a documentary that follows that path for kids in those churches.
It's quite an old documentary, that.
Yeah. It's not new or anything, just.
That's evil. That is evil.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you have to see it. It is shocking.
I'm going to be honest with you. For me, the biggest crime that the churches, that religion does, is although I'm not denying the fact that all of the following crimes that I'm about to say is not horrendous, heinous, disgusting. Like, it's not child sex abuse, it's not the misogyny, it's not the homophobia. All of those are fucking awful. Don't get me wrong. It's the indoctrination of kids is the most evil thing that they do, because what that does is the indoctrination of those children leads to sexual assaults of children, the homophobia, the misogyny, the transphobia, the damage it's done. You can trace it all the way back to the indoctrination of children.
The effects of that are exponential.
Chris,
what makes it so bad?
Paul has joined us. Did you still want to talk about a certain Kyle?
I hadn't really thought to do that.
Oh, you were talking about it before, weren't you? No, that was purple earlier. Never mind. I'm still not 100% well.
Oh, Jen. You're not even drinking.
I did. I finished my bottle.
Oh, you spilt it on yourself. I saw you.
Yeah, I did spill it on myself. You're quite right.
You just tipped it down.
Actually, but I'm drinking the traditional Waka Changi, so yeah. You didn't ask me what I was drinking. I just realized.
Didn't ask
water, so
yeah, I don't know because I've been sick and the doctor put me on these tablets, and there's this big, and I they always say don't drink with them. There's this big do not drink with this. It will affect them.
Fuck urine.
And it's one of the these. How's this? I learned what it was like to be an American, because the medication I've got is not covered by Medicare, and it cost me $40.
That's not what it's like to be American.
That's not what it's like. Add another zero on the end of that, and then that's kind of what it's like.
Even the medication that's not covered under Medicare and that is generally negotiated better by our government to make sure that it comes into this country cheaper than it does in the US.
Yeah, and there was no cover charge at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
It works out cheaper.
I've been sleeping fantastic, so
good drugs.
So
one of
the stuff on Medicare that is covered is addictive, and the stuff that's not covered is the non-addictive one. And I had the choice. I just went, I'll go the non-addictive, and the doctor goes, well, it's not covered by Medicare. This is my favourite doctor who tries to convert me every time I see him, but he's great. He's great, but I think that's what I was going to say. So we're talking about indoctrination of kids. Ken Ham has been on a massive how to train your kids as
yes,
Christians.
That's who I was thinking of earlier. Oh,
yes.
really.
We do need to talk about Ken.
But did you see his post the other day where he was complaining? He was complaining about the gay and trans agenda, where they're indoctrinating kids into being. And I said, "You're the." And I commented back to him. He hasn't blocked me yet. You're the fucking poster child for indoctrination. Children, you fucking know.
Indoctrination's bad unless it's the kind of indoctrination we like.
Yes, exactly.
Holy
and the difference here is when you're talking about gay and trans kids is the parents don't make them that. They tell the parents that's what they are. And the parents either affirm them or they be assholes to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not indoctrination.
And I took my my kids went to church with me, and actually when I got out of it, and we sort of had to sit down with, but the two youngest ones, it wasn't an issue because they have no idea what's going on. But the oldest one, we sort of had to sit down with her and have the conversation about why we're not going to church anymore, why we're taking her out of scripture, and it was quite a horrible experience. Like, she was really good with it, but then I found out, like, she went to and stayed with my mother for a few days, and my mother's not religious at all, but she cried and said to Mum that she misses God because she used to, when she was feeling sad, she'd pray on it to make her feel better. Now she's like this little firebrand atheist kid who just got Outgrowing God. Like, she's 9 years old reading Outgrowing God, and her favorite bit is that he's making fun of gods and puts God in brackets, and she's like, "That's awesome." But she was at school, and before Christmas, there was a kid who said to her, "You're not allowed to celebrate Christmas because you're not a Christian."
See you later, Amanda. By the way, love
See you, Amanda.
you.
So that's so there's that whole indoctrination and nastiness. It does go on to kids, and this kid's a nice kid who said that too. But it was just that whole. It just creates bigotry. It's just I think fortunately, because I know there's a big focus on the churches to keep the youth in and do whatever you can because they know that the numbers are dwindling, and I think we're generations away from it, basic religion being dead, but.
Yeah, well, the reason why I say that indoctrination of children, why that allows child sex abuse is because you are told that these people in power, the priests and the nuns, are ordained by God.
Yeah.
And because these people are ordained by God and loved by God, therefore they can do no wrong. And because they can do no wrong when they do wrong, if you say they have done wrong, no one believes you because they have been told and indoctrinated over and over again to say these people can do no wrong. So, and if you're a little kid,
the priests and the nuns and that who do the abusing don't think they can do wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
That they brainwashed themselves into this is okay.
Yeah.
And I did do that, so that was a fun conversation at the schoolyard, I think. But yeah, but you're right there. It's and look, these predators unfortunately will put themselves in situations and positions where they are the trusted people. That's why it's it's a lot of teachers and a lot of priests, and it's sort of it's systematic within those institutions. So, but you're right, it's because of that trust factor, and then the parents paying such veneration to these wonderful priests, and the kids are too afraid to do anything. It's bullshit.
And it gets to the point where it's not even just that, it's the fact that the kids are indoctrinated enough to not be able to process that as something bad has happened to me, because they think the priest is a good person and that's a good man, but they feel like they can feel the damage that's been done to them, yet they're indoctrinated to the point where they don't recognize evil because they're told that God is good and this is a man of God. And so how do you process that?
I mean, this isn't every bit as bad as when it's a close family member that abuses a kid, because in that case, you're seeing this person as a protector and somebody you should trust and think, and they completely rat on that. But you're still in your brain is like, oh no, they must be doing it because they love me or something. And this is exactly the same thing that happens when the church, when a person of power within an organization, especially the church, does the same thing.
If it's okay, I might move the conversation on from this topic if everyone's
a bit triggering for people.
Sweep it under the rug, but it's
it's not nice.
So we'll move on to what is Sam drinking?
I have been drinking Orchard Crush apple cider, still getting through the Christmas booze, which I'll be doing for a long time.
I'm so jealous because tonight's probably the one night that I really feel
like God.
After my day at work, it was so busy. Had to get a big event out, got it done. It was fantastic. Left work at 5:30, and it was good to have a drink.
I spent the day tormenting Saint Ron on Twitter.
I did that until lunch. Then I had to go to my event, so I had to pause it for a moment. But yeah,
St. Ron is beautiful.
St. Ron's wonderful.
Have you seen what we've got in the chat?
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. All good. No worries there. No worries there. But no, it's not St. Ron. Is that you, St. Ron?
St. Ron.
Yeah,
what was one? Let's see if St. Ron has replied. Oh, I've got 8 notifications.
I'm going to make a St. Ron T-shirt, put it on Teespring, and donate proceeds to your camera.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Needs to happen, and then I'm going to tag St. Ron in the link and just say, St. Ron, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Let's see if I can find.
Incidentally-
Okay, there's still.
I think St. Ron's asleep. It's at midnight. Well, actually, it's early morning in America.
I think Bull's having fun in chat.
Oh, this is good because this is exactly what we were talking about. So atheists are simple, inconsistent with their own tenets.
This is actually so. Your earlier question: what's one of the most frustrating apologetics? And the fact that God is the source of morality.
Yeah,
that's the most immoral creature there ever was.
It just kicks the can. Like if morality can't be morality because we can justify it through the law of being, what welfare is that we can objectively come to as a group. Like if that's not good enough, then God's not good enough because that's just another transcendent idea.
It's worse. It's a troll.
No. Hey, you know what? Let's play the game.
How do you tell the difference between a troll, though?
Yeah.
I don't know, but my contention cannot be rebutted. It's certainly going that way.
I'll right now.
Yeah, that sounds completely trolly.
Atheists being inconsistent with their own tenets. Atheism doesn't have tenets.
We just don't believe in a God. Like that's the definition of atheism. We don't make any claims outside of we do not think a God exists. That's the only thing that you never believe.
I want to ask everyone on the panel here: if there is evidence that a God exists, do you want to hear it?
Yep.
Yes,
I do.
And if
religion false, please provide us with that evidence that a God, and in particular your God, exists. Win us over. Assuming you're a Christian, the Great Commission in Matthew tells you to go out in the world and make disciples. Here's 4 of us. Convert. Imagine that. What would that do for the kingdom of God if you were able
10% of my income? Come on.
Atheists on an atheist stream.
Yeah. Show us the evidence.
Show us the evidence. Invite you on. Send me a Twitter.
He said he wants to be invited. I would put some caution on whether or not they're trying to get on the channel to then post inappropriate content that may get your channel in.
Well, okay. So. All right, I'll tell you what. Evolution False. What we'll do is let's chat on Twitter, and I'm happy to have you on one of the streams during the week, and we'll have the conversation.
It's genuine.
Yeah, because we believe it or not, we do get trolls. We do get people who just want to come on and say nasty things.
Invite him on for a few minutes. Yeah, he's trolling.
So, but you
see it on Twitch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in the comments here. At atheist_pastor. That's me on Twitter. Hang on. I've spelled.
Don't forget to subscribe to know when we go live as well.
Yeah.
Can't even spell my name. Okay, there's me on Twitter. Send me a message if you're genuine. You want to get on and have a conversation. I'm happy to. More than happy to have a conversation, as long as it's a genuine conversation. By that I mean that you're not just getting on to, swear and jump off because we've
post porn and get your channel deleted.
And serious, if you actually want a conversation, Evolution False, you're probably better off doing a 1-to-1 with Chris, or maybe a 1-to-2 with Chris and Sam than you are with all of us, because
Jen swears.
I swear, and we're probably going to tear you apart.
I'm happy to have send me a message. We will set it up. I'm happy to have a genuine conversation with you. Let's do it. If you can convert me. I mean, look, if you can convert me, I can guarantee you'll convert everyone else, because I've studied the Bible very much in depth. I probably know it better than 99% of the pastors out there. So if you can convert me, you will get the biggest Christian evangelist in the world. So, but send me a message. If you're genuine, send me a message. So, where were we at?
Drinks. I said what I was drinking.
And yeah, I'm happy to come onto your channel for a discussion. Send me the link. More than happy to come on and have a conversation. I
think the key.
And I'm going to step back here and say that based on this, I don't think you're a troll. I think you've probably come on to argue your point. I'm a former Christian. I probably would have done the same thing once upon a time. I'm very happy to have the conversation with you. Very happy to have a genuine conversation with you. So I'm happy if you want to send me, I'll come on your channel, you can come on mine. However that works, I'm more than happy to do that. So, but send me a message on Twitter and we'll go from there.
Yes, I'm mean, Bullinator. You'll find out about that later now.
Jen's not mean. She's just like the devil on our shoulders.
Oh, wow. And I'm getting so close to having 666 followers on Twitter.
Look out. That's pretty, actually, yeah, because you and I think you're about 400 on your channel, aren't
I'm
you?
nearly up to 400 subs on my channel too. So I'm getting that.
Look out.
Yes. My channel, I'm going to be honest with you, my channels did get hit a little bit when I converted to Christianity. A lot of people, I think a lot of people saw it and then just went, I'm unsubscribing from her. Because even though it was without even watching it.
That's brilliant. Oh, that is so brilliant.
It's really good for views and really bad for subs.
Yeah, no, I went from like 1,409 down to 1,402, and now I'm back up to 1,414 or something.
That'd be
what was that? Sorry,
I wish I had the problem where I dropped to 1,402. That would be such a good problem to have.
I had the problem that I dropped to 92. That'd be great.
We need to have that subscription drive now, so because we've got to get Mero back up. She's losing, she's bleeding, she's hemorrhaging.
Can't have this.
Which is all entirely the wrong words to use after that discussion about abortion today.
In Twitter, and then Orla has commented straight after, really sorry we've lost you to Christianity. And I read that and I thought, that comes across as really, really genuine. If you'd sort of almost go, oh, is that, hang on, do people think she's converted? But clearly
yeah, you did really troll that. You really did.
So good. That was probably, that's my favorite video that you've done, and I like a lot of your videos. That was my favorite. Anyone who hasn't seen it, chuck the link in. Actually, chuck the link in because
I will.
Which also brings us up to the point of what are you doing next, Merrick? How are you going to top that?
It's going to be difficult. I've had 3 good videos in a row, haven't I? Testicles. Talking in tongues and becoming a Christian, which was actually your idea, Chris. So I should probably thank you on that one.
The balls had nothing to do with it.
No, me becoming a Christian. The testicle one, I was tossing up whether to do it or not for a while. I was like kind of going, should I do it? Should I not do it? The testicle
one, Mero was just tossing it up.
Just trying to feel out whether or not it was going to be a good one.
Make a decision and let him go.
She was juggling it. Juggling the idea.
Like, what do I do? I mean, I just wanted to.
Bit of a testy
I
subject.
actually really enjoyed doing that one. I actually had so much fun.
That was probably, I learned more from your testicle video than I did from years of playing with myself and being in high school. So, and like, that came
to be fair,
out
sometimes when you're playing with yourself, you're not trying to educate.
Yeah. I learned more than I did being a teenager in a health class.
Oh, okay, health class. I'll stop laughing. That was serious.
It's just we learned the word cremaster in my first year in human bio course, and I just went, that is the best word ever.
Dear.
It really is. It's a fantastic word, like cremaster.
See, we don't get anything quite that exciting in history or politics. It's just kind of dull, actually.
Don't you get like interesting names or something like that?
Oh, we learned some really weird shit in history. Like there's some weird shit that happened.
Evolution False did say, atheist pastor, did you get my Twitter message?
I haven't looked, but I will look now.
I have to say, to mix history and politics, one of my favorite things in history and politics for Australia is still Harold Holt disappearing in the ocean and a swimming pool being named after him.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. That is
because it's still there.
Humor here, though. I mean, I'm sure it was.
I'm sure it was completely like oblivious to the irony, but the fact that it remained is just beautiful.
I don't know. I'm betting whoever originally, because usually for the names, some people suggest them, and then people vote on them, and whoever suggested it, I'm pretty sure knew how the irony.
I reckon you're right, but I reckon whoever approved it, it just went
right over the head. Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but the thing is, most people don't know enough about Australian history that a lot of people wouldn't pick up on it.
But that happened at the time. Like, that was contemporaneous disappearing. Like, it wasn't like it happened decades later. That's what makes it so funny.
Yeah, it was like within 2 years of it happening.
Prime Minister is.
Sorry, what was that?
How many people do you know who don't even know who the Prime Minister is?
Oh, yeah, I know that.
The first Prime Minister.
To be fair, in the last 5 years, it changed so much. It was not
current Prime Minister.
Do you guys know who the first Prime Minister was?
Oh, I did.
Edmund Barton.
Edmund Barton.
There was a whole ad campaign about it. Berating you for not knowing.
No, actually,
I couldn't tell you who the second
was behind that
one
ad campaign because that'll get some Scotty from marketing jokes. But anyway.
I couldn't tell you who the second one was, though, Chris. You'd have to remind me.
Fraser Anning. That was a joke. Sorry.
Fraser
Anning
Anning.
got Egg Boy.
He is the biggest douchebag to ever set foot in the Australian Parliament.
Fraser
Anning. Queensland.
Yeah,
honestly,
Queensland.
Chris, you really need to get yourself elected for this federal Liberal Party.
Mm-hmm.
Push yourself up, vie for the leadership, and become Prime Minister at some point. Because
I'd vote for you. You'd be like the only person in the NLP.
In all honesty, I think you'd make an awesome Prime Minister. And I know you wouldn't do it for the Labor Party, so you've got to get there.
I don't think the Labor Party would have me, and I wouldn't have them. So,
Bullinator made a really funny thing. The cremaster's connected to the vas deferens. Vas deferens is connected to the uterus.
I still think vas deferens sounds like a Hollywood
joke that I get.
Name.
What was that?
I said that's a nerd joke that I get, and you're responsible for that, Navadia.
I know.
So,
although I'd have to argue that uterus is probably not the right word to have in that song.
I know, that's the joke. You're like, you really are sick right now, aren't you?
I am.
See,
I really am. The biggest problem's been because of the cough and everything and how hot it's been, and I actually haven't slept well. So I am surviving on bugger all sleep, and contrary to popular belief, there was a fair amount of that left, and I just poured it all in on top of that.
I should probably head off because I need to work tomorrow morning. So
I've got a big day doing.
So have you got content coming out tomorrow, Mary?
No, I only recorded this afternoon. I might, because I did a stream on Monday with Faye about abortion. She had a couple of questions. I'm not feeling so guilty that I'm going to not release this.
It wasn't uterus. It was you who got it wrong, Mary.
What? Oh, urethra.
No, that doesn't say urethra.
It says utera.
Uterus.
Uterus?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
why am I a sick puppy?
Because you are.
Because I'm actually sick. Okay, yes.
You are genuinely sick, and you are actually a sick puppy as well. Like you just take things down. You just take things down into the gutter.
It's a double meaning.
What was that?
I said it's a double meaning, but take it as a compliment.
We still love you.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you guys have seen the streams where I've had my friends and my brother in the background. Chris has been there with my brother. You know that this is what real life's like for me.
Yeah, I had a conversation with your brother. It was interesting. So
yeah, Rob's brilliant.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm going to head. So see you later, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
We'll probably there because it is. We have just gone 12:30 where I am, and I feel like the Daily Atheist is running, and I think
we're over the top of, and we should do that.
So, everyone, jump over to the Daily Atheist. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find his
raid.
Now.
Raid.
What?
It's called a raid when you end a live stream and send everyone to the other So
Yeah.
all our watchers go and raid them.
So we
Bring it
know
all
what
Twitch culture
Mary's
in.
not doing or doing.
Everyone, we're going to put the link in, so everyone just go and just put in there that atheist pastor sent me.
But spell it
Yeah.
with pasta, P-A-S-T-A.
What are you doing, Sam?
Me,
And
I'm
gonna
trying to get myself organized. Sorry, Mary, you should go before we keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
goodbye, Mary. Love you. Show yourself.
All right. Well, if you don't know who I am, I'm slightly surprised, but my name's
I thought you were
Meredith.
Nevadia.
Well, I am also Nevadia. I have a identity crisis at the moment, and if you, please donate to my PayPal, which I just dropped in the link.
And please donate to Purple's PayPal.
Oh, that's incredibly important as well. I'm just trying to see if I can find
in the description as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can try and very quickly tell you where you can go and give the finger to St. Ron. And
We love him.
there we go. I found St. Ron's original.
Some St. Ron.
Yeah. So if you could please hurry up, computer. There we go. So that's also, if you do donate to my PayPal pool, please go and drop into that Twitter thread of Ron and let them know that you say that's how much you donated and in their name. And please go donate to Purple's GoFundMe as well if you can. That's more important in my opinion. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on. And don't forget, don't give yourself the raw prawn.
You know we love having you, Mary.
I love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
All right, so I'll let everyone else do a quick shill, and then we'll jump over and mass bomb Chris at the Daily Atheist. So
We'll go on, Sam. I asked you first.
Yeah, all right. So I am hopefully doing something this weekend. I haven't fully decided yet. I kind of let myself get lazy over the last 2 weeks, unfortunately, which ironically led to getting more subscribers than when I put out 3 videos once a week for 3 weeks for some reason. So, well, the lesson apparently is don't put out videos and you get more subscribers. So my channel is Vagrant Sam. I'm vain enough to name it after myself. Please go and subscribe. I need another 14 to get that sweet vanity URL. So instead of that mess of random numbers, it will actually be youtube.com/vagrantsam. I'll probably end up doing a ACL video tomorrow because they're easy and yeah, they're easy. Low hanging fruit. Depends what these stories are. I haven't checked what their stories are this week, but I also do want to work on, like I said, a BoJack Horseman dealing with death without religion video essay and have a shot at that format as well. So if you're interested in either of those, subscribe.
You got a good video out, or a video that a lot of Christian people are sharing. I always said good video, but one that's being shared, which is him sort of saying, "I'm not afraid and I'll stand up." So I reckon track that one down because
I might have a look at that then.
Shared, that could be I think that could be a fun one for you.
And
so we've got to get we've got a new video out for our good friend Dr. Kyle. That's the Kyle you're thinking of. So not Kyle, not going to
Kyle
jail.
Bailey.
Yeah.
Kyle, Dr. Kyle Bailey, who's
yes. I knew who you meant.
But yeah, so Jen, who are you?
I'm Jen from Jen's Little Corner. I do some debunking of idiots. I swear at people a lot. I do atheist content as well, but I mostly find the people who do stupid like flat Earth and anti-vaccine and stuff like that, and point out why they're dumb as all hell. I'm also going to be doing some interviewing stuff soon with a few guests on my show, talking to other content providers who do science type material. So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of months. I should have something out over the weekend, and I know it's been a while since I've had any content, but I've been sick, so you'll have to forgive me. And yeah, I'm also going to be doing a collab with the lovely Rachel Oates soon. So
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be a bit of fun.
Gee, that'll make you more famous than Mero.
I doubt it. I've already had a shout out on one of Rachel's videos. So, well, that did give me an awful lot of subs. Although I suppose you get more actually appearing on there, or if she actually appears on mine. So we haven't decided whose channel it'll be on yet. So probably hers, because he'll get better coverage if it's on hers. So but that should be a lot of fun. We've actually been talking about doing this since before Christmas. It's just everyone's been busy and stuff. So I came up with an idea the other day. So
awesome.
And
so that'll be a bit of fun.
If you're here, you know who I am, I guess, or a friend dragged you here. Cool. Or you're the Christian guy who came to talk. So
have a chat.
To challenge.
I've got your message. I'll flick your message back once I'm off the stream, and it may be tomorrow morning because it's just gone after midnight here. Okay, here's the link for the Daily Atheist. That's gone in. Everyone click over there and just write Atheist Pastor sent me. Let's just...
And there's my link to my channel because I forgot to post it before.
Naughty, Jen. You got to pick it up. But yeah, so everyone jump across to Daily Atheist, write Atheist Pastor sent me, and let's raid the channel. On that note, everyone have a great day, evening, and
please don't choke on the selfie stick.
If you want to chat, or if you're coming out of religion, trying to get out, send me a message, or even if you want to try and convert me, happy to have a chat. So I'll catch you all later.
Bye.